A stepmother falls from the sky, and suddenly I have 9 more sisters. Chapter 1, Li Mu, we're just not compatible, so let's break up. In front of him stood a girl who was about 8 points in looks, with a proud tilt of her neck, her face filled with disdain as she said those words. Upon hearing this, Li Mu was stunned, and his heart ached. The girl in front of him was none other than Lin Yusen, his classmate whom he had been pursuing for a year. Originally, today was supposed to be a fun trip to Happy Valley, but unexpectedly, Lin Yusen suddenly decided to sever ties with him. Li Mu had to admit, over the past year, he had been very attentive to her. You could even say he was a dog to her, doing everything to please her. But in the end, it turned out she was the one who wanted to break up. Why? Li Mu asked, staring at Lin Yusen. HMPH. Why? Do you even have the face to ask why? Does your family have money? Can you afford to buy a house in the Magic City? Can you afford a car? Lin Yusen immediately shot back. Li Mu was speechless. Who doesn't want to buy a house or a car? But the housing prices in Magic City were simply out of reach. I've already told you not to chase me, but you wouldn't listen. Lin Yusen continued, attacking him further. Dealing with this kind of dog, Lin Yusen had done it many times before. And each time, when she discarded one, she felt a huge sense of accomplishment. She thought to herself, I still have my charm, and there are countless dogs beneath my skirt. Seeing Lin Yusen's attitude, Li Mu felt utterly heartbroken. Although he couldn't afford a house, he had spent over half a year working to save up money just to pursue Lin Yusen. He would buy her branded bags, cosmetics, and he was always so attentive to her. Yet, despite all this, they had never even held hands. And now, after draining him of his money, she was making it seem like it was all his fault. At that moment, Li Mu finally saw through Lin Yusen. She was nothing but a green TB. Lin Yusen, you really are green TB. Li Mu said, enraged, with a bitter smile. He hated himself for not seeing through her sooner. Who are you calling a green TB? You're the green TB. Lin Yusen snapped, not expecting Li Mu to respond with such defiance instead of the usual pleading. Really? If you're not a green TB, then who is? Li Mu retorted, his gaze cold and sharp. Lin Yusen was infuriated. Was this really the same Li Mu who had always let her walk all over him? Had breaking up with him really angered him this much? Just then, a chubby man got out of a BMW parked nearby. He had a face full of pimples and a sleazy expression. Darling, you're here. Lin Yusen's face changed 3 times as she immediately began fawning over him, her body pressing against him as though it were no big deal. Seeing this, Li Mu instantly understood everything. Lin Yusen, is this the reason you're breaking up with me? Li Mu couldn't help but feel a deep sorrow for himself. How had he not realized how cheap Lin Yusen really was? Although Li Mu wasn't incredibly handsome, he was at least decent looking. But this fat guy, his looks were just abysmal. And Lin Yusen had the nerve to pick him. What do you think? He has a car, a house, and he has not even graduated yet. He is already far ahead of you poor losers. Your future will be nothing compared to his. Lin Yusen said with self-righteousness. Upon hearing this, Li Mu's heart sank. He had always known that Lin Yusen was materialistic, but he never imagined she was this extreme. Over the past year, Li Mu had worked part-time to support Lin Yusen's material desires, giving her almost all his earnings. And after she took the money, she would go buy luxury goods. Was she really a woman? Li Mu had always thought women liked to be beautiful, but he never expected Lin Yusen to break up with him just because of her material desires. Today, he finally understood his position in her heart. To Lin Yusen, he was just a cash machine. Now that she found someone better, she had no reason to keep him around. With that thought, Li Mu's heart nearly exploded with anger. She had the audacity to bully me like this. Hey, kid, why don't you just get lost? Don't ever show up in front of us again. Got it, the pimply fat guy sneered, threatening Li Mu. Li Mu clenched his fists, the bones cracking as he stood there, seething with rage. At that moment, a synthetic voice suddenly sounded in his head. Ding! Host detected. Perfect male god system binding. Ding! System binding successful. A system. Could it be the legendary Golden Finger from a novel? System, what functions do you have? Li Mu asked, his heart racing. This system is called the perfect male god system. Its goal is to transform the host into a rich, all-around male god and help the host achieve a perfect life. Wow! This was like a dream come true. Li Mu had been fuming in anger, but now his heart soared. The system was just too thoughtful. Kid! Didn't you hear me? Get lost, or else don't blame me for being rude. My old man is the manager of the Qinghong group. The fat guy taunted, growing even more arrogant when Li Mu didn't move. But just then, a bright red Ferrari sped toward them and stopped in front of Li Mu. In front of everyone's gaze, a stunningly beautiful woman, clearly over 9 points in looks, stepped out of the car. She was dressed in a wine-red coat, with black stockings that hugged her toned legs, and black high heels. Her lips were a perfect shade of red, her long hair flowed in the wind, and her eyes were lively and sharp as she approached with confidence. Li Mu couldn't help but be mesmerized by her. She was absolutely gorgeous, on par with any celebrity. The woman walked right up to him and gave him a serious once-over. "You're Li Mu?" she asked, her voice calm and composed. "Yes, and you are?" Li Mu instinctively asked. "From now on, call me sister." The woman replied, not giving him a choice. "Sister." Li Mu was stunned, completely caught off guard by this unexpected turn of events. Chapter 2, Dad's Got a Rich Girlfriend. Li Mu was still in a daze as he sat in the red sports car. "I know you have a lot of questions, but the answers will be revealed soon," said Xiaomuyu, who was driving, while keeping an eye on Li Mu. Since Xiaomuyu was being coy, Li Mu figured it would be best not to ask any more questions for now. At that moment, a voice suddenly echoed in Li Mu's head. "Ding! Congratulations, host. You have received a beginner-esque gift package, Divine Medical Skills. Would you like to claim it?" Li Mu couldn't help but smile when he heard the voice in his head. A beginner's gift package. This was a nice surprise. "Claim it," Li Mu silently said. Immediately, a warm current filled his body, bringing an immense sense of comfort. At the same time, his mind was flooded with an entire new set of knowledge all about medicine. Li Mu found that the medical knowledge was as familiar to him as if he had been studying it for years, like a seasoned professor immersed in the field of medicine. About 20 minutes later, the car arrived at a villa area named Hushan Mingting Lakefront Luxury Villas. Li Mu got out of the car and stared at the villa complex. He couldn't help but marvel at the elegance of the exterior. Just by the design of the area, it was clear that these villas were worth a fortune. Anyone who could afford to live here must be either very rich or very influential. Xiaomuyu led Li Mu to villa number 1. This villa had 5 floors, and the yard was spacious, filled with all sorts of rare and exotic flowers and plants. Xiaomuyu rang the doorbell a few times, and a servant quickly opened the door. Li Mu followed her inside and was led to the living room on the first floor. There, he saw a dignified woman sitting on the couch, alongside a dark-skinned man. Li Mu did a double take. The man wasn't a stranger, it was his father, Li Jianxi. Li Mu was stunned. "Dad, what are you doing here? What's going on?" Li Mu hurried over to ask. If it weren't for the dark complexion, he would have almost not recognized his own father. Li Jianxi was wearing a full set of high-end clothes, looking sharp and well-dressed. He no longer resembled the man who used to work as a construction laborer. Li Jianxi had lost his wife early in life and had raised Li Mu on his own. The hardships he had gone through were unimaginable. When Li Mu got into college, he had hoped his father could rest, but Li Jianxi insisted on continuing to work. He said he wanted to save up money to buy a house for Li Mu. Li Mu stared at his father, completely puzzled. The elegant woman sitting next to his father, meanwhile, stood up with a look of nervous anticipation. This woman was dressed in a cyan-colored chapao, petite in stature but exuding a strong presence. Though she was no longer young, her figure was still perfectly intact, and her face remained beautiful, showing signs of a once youthful beauty. "This must be little Mu, right? I've heard your father mention that you're attending the finance academy in Magic City. I didn't expect to finally meet you today." The woman greeted with a warm smile. "This is your Aunt Xiao Qinghong. Quickly call her Aunt Xiao." Li Jianxi quickly made the introduction. "Aunt Xiao? Aunt Xiao." Li Mu stammered, unsure how to respond. "Xiao Qinghong. Could it be that she was the head of Qinghong Group? The richest woman in Magic City?" Li Mu's mind was in turmoil. No wonder she seemed so familiar, he had seen her on TV. Qinghong Group was a company founded by Xiao Qinghong from scratch, and it was now one of the top enterprises in Magic City. In addition to real estate, the company had expanded into the restaurant industry, stocks, e-commerce, and more. Xiao Qinghong had earned the titles of Business Queen and the richest person in Magic City. Li Mu could hardly believe that today, this powerful woman was standing right in front of him. "Look at you, child. Why are you in a daze?" Li Jianxi chided. "It's not the kid's fault. It's normal to be a bit overwhelmed the first time you meet," Xiao Qinghong intervened, smoothing things over. Li Mu sat down, but after a brief pause, he couldn't help but ask, "Dad, what exactly is going on? You and Aunt Xiao?" Upon hearing this question, Li Jianxi glanced at Xiao Qinghong, and she looked back at him. Both of them seemed a little embarrassed, clearly unsure how to answer. Li Mu was completely stunned by the scene. "You should be the one to explain, old Li," Xiao Qinghong said, completely abandoning her usual businesswoman demeanor and adopting a tone that made her sound more like a shy young girl. "Well, it happened like this." Li Jianxi began, rubbing the back of his head with a sheepish smile. "You know, I've worked on construction sites for years. One day, Aunt Xiao came to inspect the progress of a property project. She suddenly fainted, and I happened to be there. I quickly revived her by pressing on her acupuncture points. Afterward, Aunt Xiao was so grateful that we started spending time together. Over time, we became familiar with each other. Although Aunt Xiao is a big boss, she has never looked down on me because I'm just a construction worker. She has always treated me with respect. At first, we didn't think about getting married. We were just good friends. We're both older, and Aunt Xiao is the richest woman in our city, so we didn't wanted to affect her image. But then, one night, Aunt Xiao came to visit me. We had a few drinks, and before we knew it, emotions ran high. That night, we..." Li Jianxi trailed off with an embarrassed laugh as he held Xiao Qinghong's hand, grinning from ear to ear. Li Mu was completely astonished. His father, the construction worker, had actually managed to win the heart of Magic City's richest woman. This was a story that seemed too unreal, even for a novel. "Little Mu, we're thinking about getting married now. Aunt Xiao wants to be with your father, but since you're my son, I wanted to ask for your opinion," Xiao Qinghong said nervously. Li Mu felt a little overwhelmed. It wasn't that he couldn't accept it after all. His mother had passed away when he was young, and his father had both raised and supported him all these years. But Xiao Qinghong was clearly not just anyone. Could his father really handle such a powerful woman? However, seeing his father so happy, Li Mu didn't feel he could say anything else. "I'm fine with it. Aunt Xiao, you don't have to worry. I support my dad's decision," Li Mu said with a smile, though a bit worried, but he was happy for his father. "That's great. Thank you for your support, little Mu," Xiao Qinghong said, visibly relieved. Li Jianxi also looked delighted, since many children oppose their parents' second marriages, especially when it's a late romance. Xiao Qinghong finally let out a sigh of relief. "Your father and I don't plan on having a grand wedding. We're thinking of getting married on a trip. We want to travel around the world. After all, your Aunt Xiao has been working hard all her life, and she deserves a break," Li Jianxi said with a grin, his arm around Xiao Qinghong's shoulder. Li Mu couldn't help but admire his dad. His father was truly living a high life. "Little Mu, since this is our first meeting and we didn't bring a gift, here is a card with 1 million. Please take it," Xiao Qinghong said, handing Li Mu a bank card. "Aunt Xiao, this is too much. I can't accept this." Li Mu hesitated. A gift of 1 million. It was certainly no big deal to someone like her, but to an ordinary person, that could take decades to save up. "Little Mu, take it. Think of it as a gift from your elders to a younger generation," Xiao Qinghong said, growing a little anxious when Li Mu hesitated. "Please accept it, little Mu. It's a token of affection from Aunt Xiao. If you don't take it, she'll be upset," Li Jianxi urged. "All right," Li Mu finally said, reluctantly accepting the card. He figured he could keep the money for now and perhaps use it to buy a gift for Xiao Qinghong later. Although she wasn't concerned about the money, Li Mu knew he had to show his respect. After some more chatting, they became much more familiar with each other. Chapter 3, Treating the Stepmother. After some conversation, Li Mu had become quite familiar with Xiao Qinghong. In front of Li Mu, Xiao Qinghong showed no signs of her position as a wealthy businesswoman, treating him with respect and kindness, resembling an amiable, elderly figure. Throughout this time, Xiao Muyu, Li Mu's fourth sister, had been observing him carefully. Xiao Muyu had a strong and dominant personality, loved practicing martial arts, and had learned close combat techniques from a master since she was young. She could easily defeat several men in a fight, and after her training, she became Xiao Qinghong's personal bodyguard. Although Xiao Muyu didn't like complicated matters, she kept an eye on Li Mu for the sake of her family's interests. Over the years, many people had pursued Xiao Qinghong, but most of them were after money or shares in the company. However, from what she observed of Li Mu today, he seemed acceptable. At the very least, when he was offered 1 million yuan, he genuinely didn't want to accept it. Thinking about this, Xiao Muyu took out her phone and shared a photo of Li Mu along with a message in her sister's group chat. Wow! Didn't he expect this little brother to be such a handsome guy? Her second sister, Xiao Yuling, commented as she licked her lips. HMPH. If this guy has any designs on the family business, I'll castrate him. Xiao Ni-chan, the eldest sister, replied in her usual domineering CEO tone. As long as mom is happy, I don't care. The other sisters also chimed in with their thoughts. At this moment, as the sun was setting, Li Mu was invited to stay for dinner. In the villa's dining room, the servants brought out plates of exquisite delicacies. Looking at the delicious food before him, Li Mu couldn't help but feel his appetite surge. Li Mu, since we're family now, I suggest you move in with us, Xiao Qinghong said as she ate. That's not necessary. I'm about to graduate from university, and it's more convenient for me to rent a place outside, Li Mu quickly refused, not expecting Xiao Qinghong to extend such an offer. It's no trouble at all. We have a villa here. Why rent when you can live at home? There are plenty of rooms, and it's a great opportunity for you to get to know your two sisters better, Xiao Qinghong persuaded gently, clearly enjoying the idea of a large family. After all, she had adopted 9 daughters. Well, all right then, Li Mu reluctantly agreed, unable to refuse. Muyu, please show Li Mu around the villa and let him pick a room. Sure, Mom. After dinner, Xiao Muyu took Li Mu on a tour of the villa, which was large with many rooms. Eventually, Li Mu chose a room on the second floor. After settling Li Mu into his room, Xiao Muyu didn't leave immediately. Muyu, is there something else? Li Mu, feeling exhausted after everything that happened today, wanted to lie down and rest. Li Mu, since we're meeting for the first time, I don't have anything to give you, but this watch is for you, Xiao Muyu said as she handed him a small, elegant gift box. Li Mu opened it to reveal a man's watch, a Rolex with a green dial. The watch had a large, elegant face, with diamonds on the inner dial. It was obviously very expensive. Muyu, this gift is too expensive. I can't accept it. Li Mu said, hesitant. This is my gesture. If you don't accept it, that means you don't acknowledge me as your sister. I'll be upset. Xiao Muyu replied playfully. Well, okay then. Thank you, Muyu, Li Mu said, realizing there was no way to refuse at this point. After closing the door, Li Mu lay on his bed and took out his phone to search for the value of the watch. To his surprise, it was a Rolex limited edition worth 500,000 yuan. He had just received 1 million yuan from Xiao Qinghong and now a 500,000 yuan watch from Xiao Muyu. Li Mu felt uneasy. After all, friendships should be based on equal footing, but the Xiao family was at the top of the social hierarchy, while his own family was at the bottom. The wealth disparity was immense. The Xiao family's power and wealth were formidable, and now his father was with Xiao Qinghong. How would her daughters, especially the ones involved in the company, react to this? Li Mu didn't know if such a relationship could last. At that moment, a synthetic voice suddenly rang in his mind. Ding! A matching host has been found. Binding the life assistance system. Ding! System binding successful. A system. Li Mu was astonished. System, what functions do you have? Li Mu calmed down and asked mentally. This system is called the life assistance system, designed to turn the host into a wealthy, all-around male god, helping the host achieve a perfect life. Wow! This sounds amazing. Li Mu, who had been worried about his father's marriage, now felt thrilled. With the system, he could close the gap between his family and the Xiao family. Ding! Congratulations! The host has received a beginner-esque gift pack, God-level medical skills. Do you wish to accept? Another beginner-esque gift pack. Li Mu's heart swelled with joy. He had received a skill that could change everything. Accept. Li Mu muttered. Instantly, a warm current filled his body, and he felt incredibly comfortable. At the same time, his mind was flooded with new knowledge all about medicine, covering both Chinese and Western practices. Li Mu could now recall all the medical knowledge as if he had been practicing for years, like an old professor who had spent a lifetime in the field. Just as this was happening, he heard shouting from outside his room. Although the villa had excellent soundproofing, the voices were too loud to ignore. Li Mu got up, opened the door, and went downstairs to investigate. In the living room, a beautiful woman was arguing with Xiao Qinghong. This woman had fair skin, long flowing hair, and striking eyes. She wore a brown suit with a white floral shirt underneath, and her figure was curvaceous, dressed in a tight black skirt. She exuded the presence of a powerful career woman, almost matching Xiao Qinghong in stature. The argument was so intense that even his father and Xiao Muyu came out of their rooms to watch. Mom, I don't agree with you being with him. This is just about inheriting the family business. Daughter, we can sign a prenuptial agreement. Mom, you've been blinded by love. Uncle Li is sincere. The Xiao family's business shouldn't fall into the hands of an outsider. From the conversation, it was clear that this woman was also Xiao Qinghong's daughter and strongly opposed her relationship with Li Mu's father. Xiao Qinghong, enraged by the argument, nearly fainted on the sofa. Li Mu, his father, and Xiao Muyu rushed to her side to help, and Xiao Muyu immediately called for a doctor. Within seconds, Xiao Qinghong was unconscious on the sofa. The woman, now panicked, frantically shook Xiao Qinghong's arm, tears welling up. Despite her efforts, Xiao Qinghong remained unresponsive. Li Mu took a needle from the servants, ready to perform acupuncture on Xiao Qinghong. Who are you? Why should I move aside? The woman snapped, her anger flaring. If you don't get her treated immediately, she may not survive. Li Mu said, firmly. Xiao Qinghong was suffering from a heart condition exacerbated by high blood pressure, and Li Mu quickly deduced that she needed immediate treatment to avoid a life-threatening situation. You're cursing my mom. The woman became more furious, glaring at Li Mu. Li Mu, focused on saving Xiao Qinghong, pulled the woman aside and began his acupuncture. Just then, an elderly doctor, who had been brought by Xiao Muyu, entered the room. The doctor was well known in the area, living in a nearby villa. Li Mu swiftly began administering the needles, his hands moving with such speed that it appeared as though his hands were mere shadows. The old doctor, having witnessed the speed and precision of the acupuncture, was visibly stunned. This wasn't just a casual skill, it was the work of someone who had mastered it over decades. As soon as the needles were removed, Xiao Qinghong's pale face quickly regained color. She sat up, completely revived as though nothing had happened. The room was in awe. This miraculous recovery was astonishing. Xiao Mu, thank you. I didn't realize you were so skilled in medicine. If it weren't for you, I might not have made it this time. Xiao Qinghong, now fully recovered, expressed her gratitude. You're too kind, auntie. Li Mu humbly responded. The woman, who had been arguing with Xiao Qinghong earlier, was now silent, her disdain evident. Excuse me, young man, may I ask if you used the Ghost Gate 13 needles just now? The elderly doctor asked with great excitement. Li Mu was taken aback. Oh, you know about it? Of course. When I was young, I saw it once, but to witness it again today. I feel as if I can die without regret. The elderly doctor said, deeply moved. Li Mu had used a powerful acupuncture technique, and now, even the famous local doctor was asking to be his disciple. Would you be willing to teach me this technique? The elderly doctor asked, trembling. Li Mu was stunned. Teach you? Yes. I've been practicing medicine for years, but I've never seen anyone with such skill. I must learn from you. Everyone in the room was shocked. Li Mu, who had seemed like just an ordinary guy, was now being sought after by one of the most renowned doctors in the area as a master. Chapter 4, 9 Women Marrying One Person. This. Li Mu didn't know how to answer for a moment. Li Mu looked at Xiao Qinghong, and Xiao Qinghong nodded slightly. Li Mu understood. The old man wants to learn the 13 ghost needles. I really admire you. Young friend, are you willing to teach? The old Chinese doctor said urgently. Certainly. That's great. From now on, you are my master. The old fellow's name is Qin Guanhua. Master, please accept my disciple's greetings. As he spoke, Qin Guanhua was about to kneel down. You are too polite, old man. I dare not be your master. We can just learn from each other in the future. Li Mu hurried to help. That won't do. Once a teacher, always a teacher. The old man was afraid that Li Mu would not teach him the 13 ghost needles, so he insisted on confirming the master-disciple relationship. Li Mu couldn't persuade him anymore, so he had to let things take their course. The behavior of this old man and young surprised others. If the students of Shanghai Medical College saw this scene, they would probably be shocked. Mr. Qin, the honorary professor of the College of Traditional Chinese Medicine, actually wants to become a disciple of a young boy who is still wet behind the ears. This TD is too unbelievable. As it was getting late, Qin Guanhua decided to come back tomorrow to ask Li Mu for advice. He said goodbye to everyone in a hurry and went back. As soon as Qin Guanhua left, Xiao Qinghong courted Li Mu and thanked him again and again. Don't be so polite, Aunt Xiao, we are all family. And I see you still have high blood pressure problems. I will use acupuncture to regulate you in the next few days. Okay. Thank you so much, Li Mu. I never thought you knew medical skills. And even the famous Chinese medicine doctor Qin Lao in Demon City wants to worship you as his master. Xiao Qinghong already had a good impression of Li Mu, and now that Li Mu had demonstrated his amazing medical skills, she naturally liked him very much. I was worried that my daughters would not be able to fully accept Li Mu and Li Jianxi, but now I see that Li Mu is really capable. It seems that Li Mu is just young and lacks opportunities. Seeing his son being praised, Li Jianxi was also very happy, but how did Li Mu learn medical skills? How come he didn't know anything about it? Li Mu, let me introduce you to your eldest sister, Xiao Nishang. She is good in every way, but she is a bit overbearing. Xiao Qinghong pulled the beautiful lady in professional attire and introduced her solemnly. Mom. Xiao Nishang was acting coquettishly in front of her mother. How could she talk about her own daughter in front of others? There is no trace of the quarrel between the mother and daughter now. Hello. I'm Li Mu, please take care of me. Well, thank you for saving my mom just now. Xiao Nishang pouted, still a little unhappy. After all, in her eyes, the new brother was competing with him for the family property. In the evening, Xiao Qinghong and Xiao Muyu gathered on Xiao Nishang's bed, and the three mother and daughters started chatting in private. Mom. I didn't mean to quarrel with you. Yeah. I know. So many people have pursued you over the years, so I'm always worried. Well. You have to believe in your mother's ability to recognize people. Your Uncle Li and Li Mu don't want to get anything from us. By the way, you are not young anymore. You will be 26 soon. You should also consider your marriage. Mom, why are you talking about me? I think Li Mu is pretty good. I didn't expect his medical skills to be so great that even Elder Qin was impressed. Mom. What are you talking about? How can Li Mu do that? Besides, he's my younger brother. What's the big deal? He's not your biological brother. If either of you like him, you can try to get along with him. Mom is not feudal. This. Xiao Nishang and Xiao Muyu were speechless for a moment, but when they thought of how handsome Li Mu looked today, they both blushed. I have raised 9 of you, but up to now, none of you have married, and none of you even have a partner. I really don't know what to say. No need. We all focus on our careers. We are all people like Mom was when she was young. The 9 sisters have admired their mother since they were young, and each of them has lived up to their mother in different ways. But you have to get married eventually. When Mom was young, she devoted herself to her career because she was hurt in love. The 9 of us once said that men are unreliable and we have to rely on ourselves. And even if we want to get married, we want to marry the same person. Marry the same person. My mother was shocked. How could these girls be so brave? They dared to say such nasty words. After sleeping in the villa room for a night, Li Mu got up the next day. From the balcony on the 2nd floor, I saw Xiao Muyu practicing boxing. This girl has a beautiful figure to begin with, and when she dances in the bold and sweeping martial arts postures, her curves become very well proportioned, which makes people think of some fantastic things. Ding! The host has obtained a god-level martial art. Do you want to claim it now? Oh, I didn't expect that watching others practice martial arts would bring such benefits. Receive. As Li Mu silently recited. Suddenly, a warm current spread throughout Li Mu's body. The unprecedented feeling of comfort caused a qualitative change in Li Mu's bones. His small belly turned into 8 abdominal muscles, and his muscles seemed to have been tempered 100 times, and they were very strong. At the same time, Li Mu's mind was filled with various fighting knowledge. Would you like to come down and fight a few moves? While Li Mu was digesting this new martial arts knowledge, Xiaomuyu seemed to have sensed something and looked up to see Li Mu on the second-floor balcony. Xiaomuyu was a martial artist and liked to challenge people, so he invited Li Mu. Okay. Li Mu agreed for some unknown reason. Maybe he also wants to know how much he weighs now. Without thinking too much, Li Mu instinctively jumped from the open-air balcony on the second floor to the front yard instead of taking the stairs. I didn't realize you were so capable. Xiaomuyu exclaimed in admiration. From the second-floor balcony to the ground is only 4 or 5 meters. Ordinary people would not dare to jump from this height. However, Li Mu's movements were graceful and elegant, and he was as light as a swan. It was obvious that he had a certain level of skill. Soon the two of them started fighting each other with bare hands. Li Mu didn't try his best, he was just trying to get the feeling. However, although Xiaomuyu's speed was astonishingly fast, he was very slow in front of Li Mu. It was mainly Xiaomuyu who attacked and Li Mu who defended. Every punch Xiaomuyu threw was neutralized by Li Mu, which made Xiaomuyu feel like he was hitting cotton. After throwing more than 10 punches in a row, Xiaomuyu was exhausted, but he hadn't made any progress at all. This also surprised her. Xiaomuyu asked herself if she was a master with extensive knowledge. An ordinary person would be defeated by her in just a few rounds, but I didn't expect Li Mu to be able to hold on for so long. At this moment, seeing that Xiaomuyu was distracted, Li Mu took the opportunity to attack. In the end, Xiaomuyu couldn't bear it anymore, took a few steps back, and was about to fall. Li Mu quickly stepped forward and hugged Xiaomuyu around the waist, preventing him from falling. But, this posture, their skins touching, smelling the masculine scent coming from Li Mu, Xiaomuyu's eyes were a little blurry, and she even wanted to reach out and touch Li Mu's muscles. Thinking of this, Xiaomuyu couldn't help but blush and quickly stopped thinking. Alright. Let's stop here today. You win today. Let's fight again tomorrow. Xiaomuyu stood up in a panic, broke away from Li Mu's arms, waved his fists, and then ran back to his room. On the balcony of the bedroom on the 3rd floor, Xiao Qinghong saw all this and smiled knowingly. Chapter 5, Finding Bargains on the Antique Street. Li Mu went upstairs to take a cold shower. Just as he was about to go downstairs, someone knocked on the door. Li Mu didn't change his clothes. He just wrapped himself in a bath towel and opened the door. Standing outside the door was the eldest sister Xiao Nishang. Are you? Seeing Li Mu's naked upper body, Xiao Nishang screamed. Oh. Sorry sis, I just got out of the shower and was just busy opening the door. When Li Mu saw Xiao Nishang's reaction, he hurried back to his room and put on a coat. Xiao Nishang was still a little nervous. Who would have thought that what she would see as soon as she opened the door was a boy's naked body? But from a quick glance just now, I found that this cheap brother has an outstanding figure. He actually has 8-pack abdominal muscles, which are probably not inferior to those of a male model. She had never had any contact with boys since she was a child, and this was the first time she saw a boy's body in real life. Being so close, Xiao Nishang's cheeks became even redder. She no longer looked like a business queen. Oh. Big sis, what's wrong? Seeing Xiao Nishang's strange expression, Li Mu didn't know whether this woman would attack him. After all, he had quarreled with Aunt Xiao yesterday. I heard from Mu Yu that she gave you a gift yesterday. As your eldest sister, I naturally have to give you one too. Thinking of her reaction just now, Xiao Nishang wanted to slap herself a few times. Coming back to her senses, she handed a beautiful gift box to Li Mu. This is. Li Mu took it and opened it. It turned out to be an acupuncture set. The outer cover was made of fine cowhide, and the silver needles inside were made of pure silver. There were various sizes. It was estimated that there were 70 to 80 silver needles. It was very expensive. The key point was that Xiao Nishang really put her heart into it. I saw you using a sewing needle yesterday, so I asked someone to buy it for you this morning. I hope you like it. Xiao Nishang explained while easing the visual impact just now. Thank you. You are so thoughtful. I just need a set of acupuncture needles. Li Mu was naturally happy to accept this gift and liked it very much. By the way, big sister, do you know if there is an antique street nearby? You want to go shopping for antiques? My dad and Aunt Xiao are getting married, and I can't just not give anything, so I want to go and see if I can find a suitable gift. So that's how it is. Yes, there are, but most of them are fakes. I happen to have nothing to do this morning, so I can take you to have a look. That's troublesome, big sister. In fact, Xiao Nishang wanted to observe her younger brother carefully. After all, there are too many scammers nowadays. Although Li Mu saved her mother yesterday, Xiao Nishang has been in the business world for a long time and knows the horror of human nature. She will not completely trust the other person after meeting him once or twice. After they had breakfast, they said goodbye to their father and Xiao Qinghong and set off. When we arrived at the Villa S underground garage, there were more than a dozen fine cars of various types. Ferrari, Cadillac, Maybach, Aston Martin. Li Mu was stunned for a moment. The world of the rich is indeed very arrogant. I'm afraid that the price of just one car here is something that an ordinary person may not be able to earn even if he works for a lifetime, but there are more than a dozen of them here. Li Mu, if you want to drive that one, I'll give it to you. Seeing Li Mu dumbfounded, Xiao Nishang blinked and asked tentatively. Sister. This is too extravagant. I can't afford these cars. If they get damaged, I can't afford the compensation. Okay, then you can take my car first. Xiao Nishang didn't expect that this boy was so sensible. Unlike some people, when they see high-value goods, they want to take them for themselves. She couldn't help but feel more favorable towards Li Mu. Xiao Nishang drove a black Mercedes-Benz, which was low-key and luxurious, and was in line with the style of a business person. Soon, they arrived at the famous antique street in Shanghai. In this antique street, all kinds of items are sold, including jade, bracelets, calligraphy and paintings, porcelain, everything you can think of. Xiao Nishang and Li Mu walked on the street and took a stroll. Ding! Congratulations to their host for obtaining the identification prompt box. Do you want to claim it now? As expected of an auxiliary system, it is here again. When Li Mu saw Xiao Muyu gaining God-level martial arts through martial arts training in the morning, he was thinking that the triggering mechanism of this system was the same as what he thought. Receive. In the blink of an eye, many prompt boxes appeared in front of Li Mu. A fake vase, worth 10 yuan. A consecrated bracelet, worth 100 yuan. A fake painting, worth 200 yuan. Every item that Li Mu sees will have a prompt box pop up above it. This is so useful. It's like a cheat. Li Mu likes it very much. Li Mu, don't you see anything you like? I told you there are too many fake things in this place. Xiao Nishang walked around for a long time but didn't buy anything. In fact, Qinghong Group has a jewelry business, which is also related to jade. Xiao Nishang has also learned some knowledge of identifying antiques and has a certain ability to identify. It's all right. Let's go to that stall over there and take a look. Li Mu walked towards a stall nearby and finally stopped in front of a painting. This is a fake painting from the Song dynasty, worth 500 yuan. But the inner layer contains the original. The value is inestimable. The value is inestimable. Li Mu became curious. This prompt box is amazing. It even shows that there is a layer inside. Other items only have a simple hint, but this hint actually has these words. As for the so-called mezzanine, it seems that there is no layer there, but when you touch it, it is vaguely visible, as if there is really a layer there. Young man, do you like it? If you like it, take 1,000 yuan. Let me open the shop today. The stall owner was a middle-aged man in his 40s, with a smooth and shrewd face. Of course, who isn't he an experienced person in this antique street? This price is a bit expensive. It looks like a fake. Before Li Mu could say anything, Xiao Nishang spoke up to remind him. Boss, would you like to sell this painting for 500 yuan? Li Mu bargained. 500 yuan. That's too little. It should be at least 900 yuan. The stall owner and Li Mu bargained for several rounds, and finally Li Mu bought it for 700 yuan. Li Mu, this painting is really ordinary. Xiao Nishang felt a little sorry for Li Mu. This work is a picture of wealth and nobility approaching the phoenix. This kind of common painting can actually be sold for 700. Sis, this painting must be good. I'll go pick out 2 more things. Li Mu was full of confidence. Anyway, there is a system to back him up, so he has nothing to be afraid of. Chapter 6, Treasure Appraisal Against Heaven. A pair of jade bracelets, worth 50 million. A jade ring, worth 100 million. In front of a stall specializing in jade, Li Mu found 2 good things, so he bargained and finally bought them for 1,000 yuan. If the stall owner knew their true value, he would probably vomit blood. Similarly, in Xiao Nishang's eyes, these 2 things are also garbage. Li Mu, the things you bought are 2 mainland products, right? You can't give them away as gifts. Such mainland stuff naturally would not catch Xiao Nishang's eye. Hey! That's not necessarily true. Li Mu has the system at his disposal, so of course he is full of confidence. Could it be that these mainland goods are good stuff? As a female CEO who has the final say, Xiao Nishang was naturally a little unhappy. No one had dared to deny her opinion for such a long time. How about we make a bet? Sister, do you know any expert in identifying antiques? Yes, what's wrong? I want someone to help me look at the treasure I chose. Okay. I'll make you give up. There's a store on this street that I happen to know. Xiao Nishang was actually not happy to go because she felt that Li Mu's things were too ordinary and worthless. Why did she need to appraise them? It was embarrassing enough. Although she was not happy about it, she still took Li Mu to a shop called Yushuan Pavilion. This shop is antique and the decoration inside is exquisite. It is filled with all kinds of items, each of which is very unique, and it can be seen that the owner of this store is very powerful. Hey! Miss Xiao! Why are you here? As soon as he saw Xiao Nishang come in, the old man who looked like a shopkeeper came to greet her. Mr. Guo, I want you to take a look today. Xiao Nishang got straight to the point. This is my younger brother, Li Mu. He just bought 3 things today. Sure. Mr. Guo invited the 2 of them into the private room on the 2nd floor. Li Mu placed the 3 things on the table one by one. Mr. Guo put on his reading glasses and began to observe carefully. The first thing he looked at was a jade bracelet. The bracelet was dark and dull in appearance, and looked like a very common item. However, with a professional spirit, Mr. Guo picked up a magnifying glass and observed it carefully. The more Mr. Guo looked at it, the more surprised he was. What's wrong? Mr. Guo. When Xiao Nishang heard Mr. Guo's exclamation, she hurriedly asked. But Mr. Guo did not answer. Instead, he took out a square handkerchief from his pocket and brought some oil for maintaining jade from the room. He dipped a towel in maintenance oil and carefully wiped the bracelets. After a short while, the dark dust on the bracelets disappeared, and they became crystal clear and shiny. Seeing the changes before and after, Xiao Nishang couldn't help but be surprised. Li Mu smiled but said nothing. Mr. Guo, this jade bracelet seems to have come alive. Xiao Nishang picked up one of them, looked at it repeatedly, and even put it on her hand to try it out. She liked it very much. I have to say that women all love beauty. This bracelet is also green in color, which is quite suitable for young girls. Congratulations, young lady. If I am not mistaken, this pair of bracelets should have been made in the official kill of the Song dynasty. They look like they should be used by the royal family. There is a small word here. There are very few jade bracelets in the Song dynasty, and this pair of bracelets is so complete. The conservative estimate of their value must be around 30 million. Mr. Guo finally put down the bracelet and began to appreciate it. Really? Mr. Guo? Xiao Nishang was shocked. Originally I just admired the lustrous look of these bracelets, but I didn't expect they were actually worth 30 million. This cheap brother is so lucky. 500 yuan becomes 30 million in the blink of an eye. This is simply a money grab. After commenting on the bracelet, Mr. Guo began to observe the jade ring. The jade ring had a dull luster and did not look special. Mr. Guo picked up the magnifying glass again and observed it carefully. This jade ring has a dull luster and is obscure and forbearing, just like an ancient monk, majestic and introverted. The more Mr. Guo watched, the more fascinated he became, and the more surprised he became. The first look is ordinary, the second look is surprising, the third look is fascinated. If I'm not mistaken, this jade ring should be a relic of Emperor Qianlong. After looking for a long time, Mr. Guo finally asserted. What? The relic of Emperor Qianlong? Mr. Guo, you are not mistaken, are you? Xiao Nishang couldn't believe that the thing Li Mu bought casually turned out to be a relic of Emperor Qianlong. It must be correct. There are records in ancient books that Emperor Qianlong liked to play with thumb rings. There is a thumb ring that he often wears. It is dark blue in color and has dark patterns on the inner ring. Looking at it can help one calm down and calm the mind. This thumb ring meets almost all the requirements. The price of this jade ring is definitely over 100 million, no less. When Xiao Nishang heard what Mr. Guo said, she was extremely shocked. This ring I bought for 500 yuan is actually worth 100 million yuan. Li Mu's luck is simply incredible. Finally, Mr. Guo's eyes fell on this painting. Mr. Guo took a look and couldn't help feeling disappointed. This painting is a fake. It's not worth much. It's probably worth 500 yuan at most. Li Mu couldn't help but admire Mr. Guo's sharp vision. This price is almost the same as the price in the system prompt box. Mr. Guo, are there any props here for dismantling paintings? Li Mu asked. Props? Yes, I want to take apart this painting. There should be a layer inside. Have you noticed it? Li Mu reminded. There's also a mezzanine? Mr. Guo hurried over and touched one side carefully with his hand, and sure enough, there seemed to be a layer between them. But this interlayer is made very skillfully, and if you don't look carefully and touch it attentively, you can't find it at all. He asked the shop assistant to bring tools, and then Mr. Guo started to dismantle it carefully with a delicate knife. Finally, he took out a new painting from inside. When Mr. Guo saw it, he was extremely excited. This painting is the authentic work of the southern Tang painter Shushi, Yutang Fugui II. Mr. Guo never thought that this painting would appear here. Mr. Guo's hands holding the painting could not help but tremble. Mr. Guo, is this painting amazing? Xiao Nishang asked when she saw Mr. Guo so excited. Of course, young lady, you don't know. This painting was said to have been burned during the war. It is said that the paintings in the museum are actually fakes. I didn't expect to see such a painting again today. This painting is an authentic one, there is no doubt about it. And it is very difficult to estimate its value. Even if we have to estimate its value, it will be at least 500 million. Xiao Muyu was also surprised at the moment. This Li Mu is too amazing. Could it be that he has a very strong ability to identify? He actually got hold of all three items, and they were all very valuable. Especially the last painting, it is simply a priceless treasure, even Mr. Guo doesn't dare to give a price for it. 1 or 2 items can be considered luck, but if you successfully get 3 items in a row, it's no longer a matter of luck. Chapter 7 Restaurant Encounter. Antique Street, Yushuan Pavilion. At this moment, Xiao Nishang looked at Li Mu with shock and disbelief. Her emotions are somewhat complicated. At the beginning, she was worried that Li Mu would cheat them of their family property, so she was wary of and observed Li Mu everywhere. She even brought Li Mu to this antique street to observe Li Mu's character. However, last night Li Mu used acupuncture to save his mother, demonstrating his amazing medical skills. Even his next-door neighbor, Old Sheen, wanted to flatter him and worship him as his teacher. And now he has shown his amazing ability to identify antiques. The antiques he picked up by chance are worth tens of millions or even hundreds of millions. If he was a liar, would he still want to deceive her family? Would he still want to covet the Xiao family's property? Mr. Guo next to him looked at Li Mu with eyes full of envy and admiration. He has been doing antique appraisal for such a long time, but he has never felt so refreshed as he did today. All 3 items are priceless treasures. Especially the jade ring and Yutang Fugui II, if they were put up for auction at an auction house, they would definitely fetch a price of over 100 million yuan. And according to the eldest lady of the Xiao family, all of this was picked up by Li Mu at a bargain price of more than $1,000. Mr. Li, you are amazing. You have achieved great success with a small investment. I admire you very much. Originally, Mr. Guo regarded the young man around Miss Xiao as a gigolo who was always around Miss Xiao, and didn't care much about him. I didn't expect that he is a rare talent, who found a rare treasure at a bargain price of just a few $100s. He is a master in the world of connoisseurship. No. I'm just picking up a bargain for fun. Li Mu smiled indifferently. These words almost made Mr. Guo vomit blood. I have been collecting antiques all my life, but I am not as good as a kid. Mr. Li, are you willing to give up these 3 items? If possible, I am willing to buy them back at a high price. It's rare to see such a nice item. Mr. Guo was very excited. Let's forget about this. I have other plans. Li Mu smiled indifferently. Mr. Li, you have other plans. Do you want to auction it? I am very familiar with all the big and small auction houses in Magic City. If you want to auction it, I can also recommend it to you. Mr. Guo thought that Li Mu was waiting for a good price, so he still didn't want to give up easily. If it was auctioned, it would definitely cause a scramble in the antique world. No. This is a gift I want to give to someone. Gift? Mr. Li is truly a man of character. Seeing that Li Mufeng looked calm and composed, and didn't seem to be pretending, Mr. Guo secretly gave this young man a thumbs up in his heart. In today's society, everyone values interests. A person who can give away goods worth tens or even hundreds of millions of dollars must be a person who values friendship over money. Mr. Li, do you have any contact information? There is an auction at the end of this month. I hope Mr. Li can attend it. Oh, there is an auction. Li Mu was naturally interested, and they exchanged phone numbers. He then asked Mr. Guo to help with framing and packaging the painting, and then left with Xiao Nishang. Sister Nishang, it's almost noon now. To thank you for accompanying me shopping, let's go get a meal. Li Mu thought about it and then preached. Okay. Xiao Nishang agreed naturally. Her legs were tired after walking around for the whole morning. Soon, the two chose to eat at a high-end Western restaurant nearby. After sitting down, the two ordered steak, foie gras, and salad. In the past, Xiao Nishang always ate with other sisters, and she had never had a date and dinner with a man alone. Spending time together like this made Xiao Nishang feel a little strange. Oh, right. Sister Nishang, this is for you. As he spoke, Li Mu handed Xiao Nishang an exquisite gift box, which was the jade bracelet that had just been packed in the antique shop. This. Xiao Nishang was a little hesitant. Although the Xiao family was not short of money, Mr. Guo said that this bracelet might be worth 30 million yuan. Xiao Nishang was a little hesitant. Sister Nishang, you can't refuse. After all, I accepted Sister Nishang's silver needle this morning. Li Mu noticed early on that Xiao Nishang liked this bracelet, so he planned to give it to her. Oh well. Xiao Nishang took it, opened the package, put the bracelet on her wrist, and liked it very much. This emerald bracelet matches her slender hands and fair skin, it's simply too beautiful. Sister Nishang, this bracelet suits you perfectly. Even Li Mu couldn't help but praise. HMPH. Not bad. Xiao Nishang said proudly. This was a private meal and gift-giving. Xiao Nishang was used to intrigues in business, and she seemed not to have been so happy for a long time. Looking at Li Mu's handsome face opposite her, Xiao Nishang's cheeks couldn't help but turn red. By the way, Li Mu, have you ever learned antique appraisal before? Xiao Nishang asked the doubts in her heart. After all three items found are rare treasures, so the probability of success is too high. It's okay. I was interested before, so I read some books and learned a little bit. Li Mu bluffed casually. He couldn't tell anyone the secret of the system. Besides, even if he did, I'm afraid no one would believe him. So you are self-taught. I didn't expect you to be so good at appraisal. We have a gambling stone transaction the day after tomorrow. I can take you to see it. Okay. Anyway, Li Mu is currently doing an internship at university and is unemployed. After the meal, Xiao Nishang and Li Mu became very close. Just as the two were about to get up and leave, a man walked over. Boss Xiao. I didn't expect to see you here. The man was wearing a neat suit, his hair was combed back into a shiny slicked back styling, and he had a cigar in his mouth, looking like a big brother. Behind him were two burly men, over 1.9 meters tall, both wearing black suits and black sunglasses, just like someone from the Matrix. Why is it you? Xiao Nishang frowned slightly, looking a little disgusted. Hey! Whose pretty boy is this? Didn't Mr. Xiao say that he never eats alone with men? The man with slicked back hair pulled a chair and sat next to Li Mu. Li Mu's face turned cold. Chu Liang, I've told you so many times, I don't like you. As a great beauty and the current president of Qinghong Group, Xiao Nishang naturally has countless suitors, and Chu Liang is one of them. It's just that Chu Liang's family has some connections with the government, so Xiao Nishang generally tries not to offend them if possible. Har! So you found a gigolo? Chu Liang held a cigar in his mouth and blew a smoke ring towards Li Mu. Li Mu was a little angry. Let's go. Seeing that Li Mu was about to get angry, Xiao Nishang pulled Li Mu's hand and left. Don't you want to go so fast? The two burly men beside Chu Liang blocked the way of Li Mu and Xiao Nishang. What do you want to do? Xiao Nishang turned her head and asked. Let's play a game. If this pretty boy can beat my men, I will let you go. The woman Chu Liang had been thinking about so much was actually taken away by this boy. How could he not hate him? As a result, before Chu Liang could finish his words, the two big bodyguards were knocked to the ground with a bang, and almost instantly lost their fighting ability. Beep. Everyone in the restaurant looked at what was happening here and looked at Li Mu in surprise. You. Chu Liang was so shocked that his jaw dropped. Chapter 8: The Richest Woman's Shock. In the restaurant, Chu Liang still wanted to be fierce, but his two men had already fallen to the ground. Li Mu knocked down two big men with ease. He was so powerful. Kid. Don't leave if you dare. Although Chu Liang was still frightened, he still looked tough. What other tricks do you have? Li Mu usually doesn't like to cause trouble, but that doesn't mean he is afraid of trouble. As the saying goes, if no one offends me, I will not offend others. If you have the guts, leave your name and I will come to your house one day to avenge you. Chu Liang said viciously. Li Mu couldn't help but frown when he heard it. Xiao Nishang also had a headache. This Chu Liang is a madman. If he keeps pestering me, he will be a trouble in the future. You can be a thief for 1,000 days, but you can't guard against thieves for 1,000 days. Besides, the Xiao family is a wealthy and powerful family. It would be really annoying if there were always villains doing bad things and plotting behind the scenes. Just then. Ding! Congratulations to their host for obtaining the little brother card. As long as their host chooses a binding object, the object will become the host's little brother and obey their host's orders. Ding! Host, please choose the person to bind the minion card to. Listening to their voice coming from his mind, Li Mu felt happy. This system is really a timely help. I was just worrying about not having a pillow when I was sleepy, and now a pillow is delivered. Choose the younger brother card to bind Chu Liang. Li Mu whispered to himself. Suddenly, a spiritual connection was established between Li Mu and Chu Liang, which was similar to blood suppression. The last second, Chu Liang was still cursing at Li Mu and Xiao Nishang. But the next second, he stopped talking, and the look he gave Li Mu changed from abruptness to admiration. Brother, I'm sorry. I just didn't recognize the great man. Please be magnanimous and let me go. I am willing to work like a slave for you. Chu Liang immediately put on a flattering expression and came to Li Mu to beg for mercy. Forehead. Xiao Nishang was stunned for a moment. Why did Chu Liang suddenly change his personality? Is there any trick? Remember, my name is Li Mu, Xiao Nishang is my sister, don't bother my sister anymore, and don't do anything that's bad for the Xiao family. Do you hear me? Li Mu thought, this little brother card is really useful, it is worthy of being an auxiliary system. It really gives you what you need. Yes. Big brother. From now on, I, Chu Liang, will be at your disposal. Chu Liang was so obedient that he acted like a lapdog. Li Mu exchanged contact information with Chu Liang again, and then left the restaurant with Xiao Nishang. Keeping a little brother like this will always be useful in the future. After getting into the car, Xiao Nishang was still a little confused. Why did Chu Liang suddenly submit to Li Mu? Xiao Nishang was puzzled. She felt that Li Mu was more and more mysterious and powerful. Li Mu not only knows medical skills, but also can identify antiques. Now she finds out that Li Mu also knows martial arts. Li Mu, thank you for today. You're welcome. You're my sister. How can I tolerate others bullying you? Xiao Nishang was very moved by what Li Mu said, and her eyes looked at Li Mu more tenderly. Thinking about her bad attitude towards Li Mu at the beginning, Xiao Nishang couldn't help feeling a little ashamed. She thought that she needed to treat Li Mu well in the future. Soon, the car drove back to the villa. It was already afternoon, and Li Jianxi, Xiao Qinghong and Xiao Muyu were all at home. Humph. You two went shopping secretly without even asking me to come with you. Xiao Muyu pouted and got angry for no reason. Oh. We left in a hurry this morning, and Aunt Xiao needs your protection, so only Sister Nishang and I went together. I will definitely bring you with me next time. Li Mu chuckled. Ever since she was defeated by him in the morning, this girl had locked herself in her room and hadn't even come out to eat breakfast. HMPH. Xiao Muyu turned his face away, looking like I don't want to hear your explanation. Sister Muyu. Don't be angry, I chose a gift for you, I hope you like it. As Li Mu spoke, he placed an exquisite little gift box in front of Xiao Muyu. A gift. I'll accept it reluctantly. When he heard there was a gift, Xiao Muyu's face suddenly turned from gloomy to bright, and he jumped for joy. Li Mu now sees through everything. The fourth child of the Xiao family seems to have a hot temper and likes to fight, but in fact she has the temperament of a little girl. I'll get angry if I'm defeated, and I'll be unhappy if I don't take it with me to the street. After opening the gift box, the jade ring was inside. This jade ring is simple and elegant, and it makes people calm and wise just by looking at it. Thank you, brother. I like it very much. Xiao Muyu was immediately overjoyed and kept playing with it in his hand. Fourth sister, Li Mu bought this in the antique street. It cost a few hundred yuan. Later, I asked Mr. Guo from Yushuan Pavilion to appraise it. It turned out to be a jade ring used by Emperor Qianlong. It is worth at least 50 million yuan. Eldest sister Xiao Nishang recounted what happened this morning. It's so precious. Hearing this, Xiao Muyu was even happier. Although the Xiao family is rich, a gift worth more than 50 million yuan is not something they can easily afford. Li Mu, this thing is too valuable. When Xiao Qinghong heard this, she was also a little surprised. It's okay, I just found these at a bargain price, it didn't cost me much. Li Mu smiled indifferently. As long as everyone was happy, it was fine. At the same time, the father's status would be improved by his son, which would also raise Li Jinsha's status in the family. By the way, I also have gifts for Dad and Aunt Xiao. As he spoke, Li Mu handed Xiao Qinghong the painting, The Jade Hall of Wealth. And our gifts, Xiao Mu is so thoughtful. Xiao Qinghong smiled brightly. After unpacking and opening the painting, the entire Yutang Fu Gui Tu appears before everyone. This painting is simple and elegant, with exquisite craftsmanship, and exudes a sense of wealth and peace. This painting is beautiful. I like it very much. Xiao Qinghong couldn't help but exclaim. Mom! This painting is an authentic work by the southern Tang painter Xu Shi. It's called The Jade Hall of Wealth and Honor. According to Mr. Guo, its value is inestimable. At least several hundred million. Xiao Nishang introduced from the side. What? Such a high value? Xiao Qinghong and Li Jianxi were both shocked. The Xiao family only has a few hundred billion, but most of them are assets, not cash flow. And this painting is actually worth hundreds of millions. This made Xiao Qinghong feel very uneasy. Auntie Xiao, don't take it to heart. It's just a painting. I bought it at a bargain price. It's only 700 yuan. Li Mu smiled indifferently. Chapter 9 Qin Lao's Granddaughter. The family was naturally very happy when they received the gifts. Sister. What's your gift? Xiao Muyu suddenly asked. This. Xiao Nishang stretched out her hands and showed the jade bracelet. Wow. Sister, your bracelet seems to be more beautiful. It's not bad. Li Mu also found it at a bargain price with a few $100s, but it's worth more than 30 million. After listening to Xiao Nishang's words, everyone felt less shaken after such a series of shocks. In short, this kid Li Mu is amazing. Seeing the whole family happy, Xiao Qinghong was also very happy. Just then, someone knocked on the door of the villa, and soon a servant came in with an old man and a girl. The old man was none other than his next-door neighbor, the old Chinese Dr. Qin, also known as Qin Guanhua, and there was a girl following behind him. The girl was wearing a simple and elegant xiangsum. She was noble and elegant, with perfect body proportions, full breasts, curvy hips, extremely fair skin, and long hair that fell below her shoulders, looking like a graceful lady. But her face was pale and her brows were slightly sad, quite like Lin Daiyu in Dream of the Red Chamber. Hello, master. We meet again. I said I would come to ask you for medical advice today. Qin Guan was very open about his anger and was not at all embarrassed because of his age. Master Qin, you'd better stop calling me master. It's embarrassing for me. Li Mu always felt embarrassed to let the old man call him master. How can that be possible? There is no order of precedence in learning medicine. The one who is more accomplished can be the teacher. Qin Guan disagreed and still insisted on calling Li Mu master. This is my granddaughter, Qin Ruobing. She heard that the master knows the 13 ghost needles, so she also wants to see it. Qin Guanhua took the hand of the girl next to him and introduced her. Hello. Hello. The girl stared at Li Mu with curiosity. The two parties stretched out their hands, shook them lightly, and then separated. However, there was an incomprehensible meaning in Li Mu's eyes. Qin Ruobing obviously suffers from congenital heart disease and will soon die. It seems that Qin Guanhua wants him to treat his granddaughter. Mr. Qin. No, I'll go to your place. Seeing that there were many people in the Xiao family, Li Mu suggested going to old Qin's villa number 2. Good. Qin Guanhua agreed readily. Soon, Li Mu, Qin Guanhua and Qin Ruobing arrived at villa number 2. Mr. Qin, is your granddaughter suffering from a congenital disease and will soon die? Li Mu didn't waste any time and went straight to the point. Qin Ruobing was shocked. In fact, she herself didn't know this news. She had been in poor health since she was a child, and it was her grandfather who did his best to take care of her body. But recently she felt more and more tired, and vaguely felt that her body was about to fail. Unexpectedly, Li Mu pointed it out now. Master, did you figure it out? Qin Guanhua felt hot in his heart. Yes. Your granddaughter must have a congenital heart disease, which she brought from the womb. It is very difficult to cure, but she met me and she was saved. Traditional Chinese medicine emphasizes observation, auscultation, questioning and palpation. Through their first observation, Li Mu determined Qin Ruobing's symptoms and treatment methods. Master, can you save me? Qin Guanhua was extremely excited. It can be saved. Just use acupuncture and Chinese medicine. You will be cured within a month. Is this really? Qin Ruobing couldn't believe her ears. In fact, if it weren't for my grandfather, I would have died at a very young age. When Qin Ruobing heard today that she could recover, she couldn't believe her ears. Let's start the treatment now. Good. Please give me a separate room so that I can treat Miss Qin. Good. Soon, Qin Ruobing brought Li Mu into her room. Ms. Qin, please take off your clothes. Good. Qin Ruobing's voice trembled a little. This was the first time she let a boy into her room, and she even had to take off her clothes in front of this strange man. This is somewhat embarrassing. As her clothes were taken off, Qin Ruobing turned her back to Li Mu, her face burning with shame. However, Li Mu calmed himself down and started to give acupuncture. Li Mu's acupuncture speed was extremely fast. He had inserted dozens of needles in a short while. His technique was strange, quick, swift and precise. This was the essence of the 13 Ghost Gate needles. After about 5 minutes of being inserted, it was visibly as light as ice, and the face, which had been pale, had turned rosy. Of course, I don't know whether the blush was due to shyness or whether it really opened up Qin Ruobing's meridians. Thank you, Master. Looking at the changes in his granddaughter, Qin Guanhua was very excited. Well, I'll give you a prescription. Sister Qin, take one a day, and take a month to recuperate. Then I'll come here for acupuncture every day, and it should be fine. Time flies. The next day, Aunt Xiao and Dad boarded a plane to go abroad. In order to protect Xiao Qinghong, Xiao Muyu followed them all the way. After they all left, only Li Mu and Xiao Nishang were left in the villa. Li Mu, there is a jade transaction today, do you want to go together? Okay. Li Mu had nothing to do, so he went there with them. Chapter 10, Imperial Green. Magic City, Jade Market, is crowded with guests today. Li Mu and Xiao Nishang arrived at the venue and immediately attracted everyone's attention. Wow! This is Xiao Nishang, the president of Qinghong Group. So beautiful. Like a fairy. If I could marry her home, my life would be worth it. You are worthy enough to take a piss and look in the mirror. The whole venue was immediately filled with discussion. Oh, right. Do you know? Xiao Qinghong seems to have fallen in love with a migrant worker. No way. How could the richest woman fall for a migrant worker? Don't disbelieve me. Look at the boy next to Xiao Nishang. It is said that he is the son of the migrant worker. No wonder. It turns out that I hooked up with a rich woman, and my son also benefited from it. This pretty boy looks like he was born to be a gigolo. Hearing these discussions, Xiao Nishang couldn't help but frown. Li Mu, why don't you go back first? Xiao Nishang asked tentatively. It doesn't matter. Just a bunch of clowns. Li Mu looked calm. Seeing Li Mu's response, Xiao Nishang felt slightly relieved. Just then, a young man came towards us. He was dressed in a suit and had a slicked back hair, looking very smelly. Sister Nishang. The man came in front of Xiao Nishang and said in a flattering manner. Well, President Su. How are you? Xiao Nishang responded indifferently. Who is this? The man pointed at Li Mu and asked. This is my brother, Li Mu. Although she didn't like Mr. Su, Xiao Nishang still introduced him out of politeness. So it's that pretty boy. President Su smiled contemptuously. Boss Su, I hope you can be more polite. This is my brother. If you mess with my brother, I will be unhappy. Okay, Mr. Xiao. I'll give you a favor today. Then, Mr. Su started to turn around on his own. Sister Nishang, who is this? Li Mu inquired about Mr. Su's background. He is the second young master of the Su family in the Magic City. He doesn't have any special abilities. He just likes women and gambling. Xiao Nishang said disdainfully. I'm afraid he wants to pursue Sister Nishang. You're the only one who's talking nonsense. You're making fun of my sister. The two of them turned around. Xiao Nishang went out to socialize. Li Mu was wandering around on his own. The venue is very large, and it is filled with various unsolved stones, all with different prices. The appearance is good, the price is high. Generally, the price is slightly worse. Of course, if you buy the stone and cut it open and find jade is real, you'll make a profit. Therefore, this jade market is also called the gambling stone market. If you are lucky, you can make a small investment for big return and maybe become rich overnight. Of course, there are also people who bought a stone at a high price, but ended up finding nothing inside it, and then became penniless overnight. Just as Li Mu was strolling leisurely, Mr. Su came up to Li Mu. Brother, do you have any stones you like? Do you want me to recommend some to you? Mr. Su, Su Kuai, seems very familiar with everyone. Oh? Do you have a favorite stone? Li Mu pretended to ask. He couldn't figure out what this person was trying to do. Hey! That's natural. Look at the stone in front. It's bright in color and has a slight green glow. It's obviously a good stone. Su Kuai preached with a sincere look on his face. Yeah. It's really good. Li Mu took a look and found that it was indeed as Su Kuai said. This stone seemed to be able to produce jade, and because of its good quality, the price of this stone was 5 million yuan. However, Li Mu blinked, and the prompt box in front of him showed a broken stone, worth 20 yuan. Har har. This Su Kuai is really interesting. Is he trying to trick himself? No. Buy it, brother. Su Kuai instigated. Well. Why don't you buy it? Li Mu glanced at Su Kuai. Brother. Aren't you short of money? And you look like a lucky guy. I have no interest in this stone. Li Mu thought, if you want to trick me, just do it like this. This Su Kuai obviously treated him as a fool and fooled him. Li Mu shook off Su Kuai and started strolling around on his own. Damn it. This kid didn't fall for it. Su Kuai knew early on that there was a high probability that this stone could not be turned into jade. After all, the Su family is in the jade business and has been immersed in the jade market for many years, so they have the ability to identify and taste jade. After Li Mu walked around for a few times, he found that either the good stones were too expensive or the stones were not worth the price. Finally, Li Mu came to a stone. The stone was ordinary and unremarkable, and was priced at 2,000 yuan. However, the prompt box showed a gem containing top-grade imperial green, worth 100 million. Therefore, Li Mu bought it. Seeing Li Mu buying this stone, Su Kuai in the distance looked at him with a mocking look on his face. Sir, are you going to cut the stone here? The staff next to him saw Li Mu paying and asked. Yes, it's troublesome. Okay, I'll ask the staff to cut the stone, but the labor fee is 1,000 yuan. Okay, no problem. After a while, a jade cutter came. There are machines for cutting jade on the market. Place under the machine. The staff member asked Li Mu about the cutting angle and direction, and then started cutting the stone. Cut it with one knife. Suddenly I saw green. Wow. No way. Is this imperial green? This stone is priced at only 2,000 yuan, right? I'm going to make a fortune. Originally, there were not many people paying attention to this stone in the market, but now they gathered in groups of 3 or 4 in front of it. Su Kuai has been paying attention to Li Mu. When the green color was revealed, Su Kuai was also surprised. When Xiao Nishang heard the commotion in the venue, she also walked towards Li Mu. Li Mu, did you buy the stone? Xiao Nishang came up to Li Mu and asked. Yeah. I just cut it. Li Mu smiled indifferently, just like before. Sir, do you want to continue cutting? The worker asked. Of course. Cut it out completely. The stone cutting master was also a little excited, but his hands were still steady. In a short while, the stone was completely cut out. More and more people gathered at the venue. Oh my god! Such a big piece of imperial green. I'm just being blind. This is the finest imperial green. This is amazing. A stone worth 2,000 yuan actually turned out to be top-grade imperial green. Chapter 11, Sudden Intention. The Jade venue was crowded with people. Xiao Nishang was completely confused. I had just been away for a while, so why did Li Mu make such a big noise? Just now the onlookers thought that Li Mu was a pretty boy and looked down on him. But now when they saw Li Mu took out a piece of imperial green, there was only envy, jealousy and hatred in their eyes. The complexity of human nature is nothing more than this. Sir, this is the stone you dug out, right? At this time, an old man in tang suit walked quickly to Li Mu and said respectfully. Yes. Who are you? Li Mu nodded. I am Wang Qianfu, the manager of Fuyu Trading Company. I wonder if you would like to part with this piece of imperial green. The old man in tang suit looked expectant. Well, maybe I should ask Sister Nishang. I know nothing about these things. Li Mu looked at Xiao Nishang. Xiao Nishang was very happy when she heard what Li Mu said. Because Qinghong Group also does jewelry business, she is now worried about not having good jade materials. With this piece of imperial green, at least the problem of lack of jade materials can be solved. I'm sorry, Boss Wang, our Qinghong Group also needs this piece of jade, so we don't plan to sell it. Xiao Nishang refused directly. Boss Xiao, I am willing to pay 20% higher than the market price, what do you think? After hearing Xiao Nishang's refusal, Wang Qianfu did not give up easily, but raised the purchase price. Mr. Wang, no matter how high the price you offer, we won't sell this imperial green. Okay then. Mr. Xiao, if this little brother is willing to sell, you can come to me anytime. Seeing Xiao Nishang's firm attitude, Wang Qianfu turned to Li Mu and handed Li Mu a business card. Okay. Li Mu took the business card without saying anything more. There were some people nearby who were about to come over to ask if it was for sale, but when they heard Xiao Nishang's answer, they naturally did not come forward to ask. However, many people still greeted Li Mu, and the number of business cards in Li Mu's hands continued to accumulate. Seeing that there were too many people talking, Xiao Nishang asked her employees to take over the jade, and then pulled Li Mu to the lounge next door. Today, Xiao Nishang is still wearing a professional outfit, a small suit, a tight skirt, and black shiny stockings, which highlights her curvy figure and makes her look sexy and charming. Okay. Li Mu, I'm going to be away for a while and you're making such a big noise. Xiao Nishang's eyes were seductive. She held Li Mu's arm, looking both angry and coquettish. She didn't look like a domineering female CEO at all. It was just luck. I just happened to see it, so I bought it. Li Mu felt the round and soft touch of Xiao Nishang's arm while he was hugged, and his mind couldn't help but wonder. Is the elder sister acting like a spoiled child? I think I should go up and pinch her cheek. Li Mu, thank you for not agreeing directly to Boss Wang just now, but asking for my opinion first. You're welcome, sister. We are family, so naturally your opinion comes first to my mind. Smelling the faint fragrance coming from Xiao Nishang, Li Mu said solemnly. Well said. I love to hear it. As for this piece of imperial green, I won't let you suffer a loss. The Qinghong Group will buy it from you at a price 20% higher than the market price. Xiao Nishang considered business as business and offered a price that would not let Li Mu suffer a loss. The two had another conversation, and finally Xiao Nishang asked her secretary Xiaoli to transfer 120 million to Li Mu. Looking at the payment text message sent by the bank, Li Mu secretly sighed that the Qinghong Group was indeed very wealthy. Let's go, brother. The second round of jade trading should start. After finishing all this, Xiao Nishang pulled Li Mu out of the lounge. The so-called second game is actually an auction. The merchants who organized this auction put together the stones that no one bought and the stones that they wanted to sell after being cut. If Li Mu doesn't want to sell the imperial green that he just uncovered, he can also auction it. Xiao Nishang and Li Mu found a seat near the front and sat down. Not long after they sat down, Su Kuai also sat next to Li Mu. "Brother, we are destined to be together," Su Kuai said in a friendly manner. "Well, Brother Su, you're welcome." Li Mu smiled indifferently. Earlier, Su Kuai wanted to trick Li Mu into spending 5 million to buy a worthless piece of broken stone. Naturally, Li Mu didn't like to make friends with such a sinister person. "Brother, you just unearthed a piece of imperial green. I'm so jealous. I wonder if you would like to sell it. I'm willing to pay a high price." Although Su Kuai didn't like Li Mu and even wanted to cheat Li Mu, he really liked that piece of imperial green. It has been many years since a piece of imperial green appeared in the jade market. Moreover, Su Kuai is in the jade business. If he can buy this piece of imperial green, it will definitely take his business to the next level. "I'm sorry, Brother Su. I have already sold this stone to Qinghong Group. If you want to buy it, you should ask Sister Nishang." Even if Li Mu had it, he would not sell it to someone like Su Kuai. "Oh. Is Mr. Xiao willing to sell it?" Su Kuai turned to Xiao Nishang and asked. "What do you think?" Xiao Nishang never had a good attitude towards such people. "Har har. Looks like I've gotten into trouble." Su Kuai stood up and left, returning to his original seat. In fact, Su Kuai knew that there was a high probability that he could not buy it, but he still wanted to try his luck. "I just didn't expect to be rejected." Su Kuai was naturally envious and jealous of Li Mu for being able to produce a piece of imperial green jade with a cost of only 2,000 yuan. What's more, Li Mu was so intimate with the woman he liked, which made Su Kuai jealous. Soon, the auction will begin. Pieces of stone were brought to the stage. Finally, a piece of stone with a small cut on it was brought to the front of the stage. I saw that the stone was very huge, and it was cut once, and the cut marks were all green jade. Everyone, as you can see, this stone has turned green. Judging from its appearance, it is most likely imperial green, so the starting price for this stone is 1 million. You can start bidding now. As their host finished speaking, people started raising their prices. "Li Mu, this stone should be good, right?" Xiao Nishang wanted to hear Li Mu's opinion. After all, Li Mu had demonstrated a very strong appreciation ability. Seeing that people kept raising the price and Xiao Nishang was also very interested in this stone, Li Mu shook his head slightly. "All I can say is that this stone is too deceptive and I don't know how many people will be fooled. Sister Nishang, this stone is not very good. Don't buy it," Li Mu reminded solemnly. Because when this stone was brought up, the prompt box had already given Li Mu the answer: a stone containing a small amount of jade, worth 9,000 yuan. "Oh. Okay then." Xiao Nishang curled her lips and wanted to make a bid, but she chose to trust Li Mu's judgment. However, the public believes that this is a top-quality jade stone. Green will emerge with just one cut, and the whole piece would be worth a huge amount of money if cut open. Soon the price was called up to 80 million, 100 million, 120 million. The competition is still very fierce. The one who finally shouted out 120 million was Su Kuai, who was sitting a little bit in the front. After 120 million, no one continued to raise the price. This gentleman bids 120 million. Is there anyone who wants to bid now? 120 million once. 120 million twice. When the host picked up the gavel and was about to strike 120 million for the third time, Li Mu suddenly raised the bid, 130 million. Chapter 12, Wisdom in Hand. 130 million. Everyone was shocked. Everyone in the conference hall turned their heads towards Li Mu's direction. Xiao Nishang also looked at Li Mu in confusion. "I don't know why this guy suddenly turned against me. Didn't he say that this stone was not very good? Did he lie to her?" Su Kuai turned his head and saw that it was Li Mu who made the bid. He was obviously stunned and his eyes became sinister. Their host, who was about to pick up the gavel to knock the ball, was stunned and immediately stopped knocking. Sweat broke out on his forehead, but after all, he had received professional training, so he adjusted himself immediately and said, "This gentleman bids 130 million. 140 million. Su Kuai made another bid. Li Mu is with the woman he likes, and now he is trying to snatch the stone from him. No way. Of course he can't give up the stone he likes. 150 million. Li Mu looked calm and shouted while holding up a sign. Xiao Nishang's face was full of question marks. Li Mu, are you okay? The two of them sat close to each other. Li Mu smelled the faint body fragrance emanating from Xiao Nishang. He gently patted Xiao Nishang's hand, motioning her to watch the show quietly. After holding it in for a long time, Su Kuai didn't say a word. But in the end he couldn't help but shout, 160 million. Immediately, people in the meeting hall started talking. They were all waiting for something, and sure enough, their voice sounded again after a while. 170 million. Li Mu held up the sign, still remaining calm. But everyone was not calm. What the hell? 10 million more. Even if this stone turns out to be imperial green, it would be priced around this price, right? If you don't solve all the problems and they are green, you will lose a lot. 200 million. Su Kuai shouted out, suppressing his heartache. 200 million. Everyone exclaimed. This auction was so exciting. So thrilling. The price reached 200 million in the blink of an eye. But this is the charm of gambling on stones. Everyone was expecting Li Mu to continue bidding, but this time Li Mu didn't say anything. Everyone thinks Li Mu has given in. In the end, the stone was sold for 200 million yuan, and Su Kuai won the stone. When the auction hammer fell, Su Kuai smiled proudly at Li Mu and asked the organizer to cut the stone on the spot. How could Su Kuai be so proud? He just wanted to show off. Let everyone know that his vision and courage completely crush Li Mu. He wants to win with dignity. Brother Su. You are so courageous. Congratulations to Brother Su for winning the gem. Li Mu stood up and congratulated Xiao Nishang. Har har, you're welcome, brother. Su Kuai patted Li Mu's shoulder and smiled. The organizers immediately started cutting the stone on site according to Su Kuai's request. As soon as you cut a little bit, a little green comes out. Everyone opened their eyes wide to witness the birth of this imperial emerald. But when you continue cutting downwards, the green color disappears and it becomes completely stone color. This. Everyone was stunned. Su Kuai was a little dumbfounded. After a complete cut, what is left is still stone, which is earthy in color except for some green at the edges. Everyone in the venue sighed, this was a mess. How is this possible? Su Kuai refused to believe it and continued to ask the workers to cut from another position. As a result, the cutout was still the same earth color, without any green at all. Su Kuai was anxious. I asked the workers to cut from another position again, and the result was still earthy color, without any green. Everyone on the field looked at Su Kuai again, some with sympathy, some with ridicule, all kinds of emotions were expressed. Su Kuai felt a little overwhelmed. Damn it, I spent 200 million just to buy a piece of broken stone. This is impossible. How is this possible? Even though Su Kuai denied it. But it cannot change the established facts. Brother, you are so cruel. Xiao Nishang looked at Su Kuai's crazy look and seemed to understand something. She couldn't help but look at Li Mu a few more times. This Li Mu seemed to be low-key, but in fact he was very wise. Don't blame me. He tried to trick me before. I'm just giving him a taste of his own medicine. Li Mu told Xiao Nishang how Su Kuai had tricked him, and Xiao Nishang began to understand. So there is such a thing. Su Kuai really deserves it. Xiao Nishang also felt a little unfair for this adopted brother. It's because you are so good-looking, sister. So many people are jealous of me, your brother. Li Mu looked at Xiao Nishang's beauty that could bring disaster, and couldn't help but sigh. Humph. These people have such bad character. My younger brother is still the best. The more Xiao Nishang looked at Li Mu, the more handsome he seemed to her. Li Mu, it's you? You tricked me. At this moment, after cutting the stone several times without producing any green color, Su Kuai finally reacted. He walked towards Li Mu with an angry face. So what? You're trying to trick me into spending 5 million to buy a piece of broken stone. Li Mu pointed it out immediately. You know everything. Su Kuai sighed secretly, thinking that he had underestimated Li Mu. Har har. I'm just giving him a taste of his own medicine. Naturally, Li Mu didn't feel good about dealing with the person who harmed him like this. HMPH. Just wait, I won't let you go. Su Kuai threw down a few words and left angrily. At this moment he has become a mad dog. Li Mu, nothing's going to happen, right? Xiao Nishang was quite worried. It's okay. Don't worry. Even if something happens, I'll take care of it. Li Mu patted Xiao Nishang's hand. After settling some matters, Xiao Nishang took Li Mu away from the venue. But along the way, Li Mu always felt that someone was following them. When we returned to the villa, it was already evening. The servants prepared dinner. But Xiao Nishang had no appetite at all. Sister Nishang, what's wrong with you? Li Mu asked with concern. You have offended Su Kuai today. I think he will take revenge on us. Be careful when you see him next time. Xiao Nishang frowned slightly. Good. Li Mu didn't care much. Soon, after dinner, Li Mu washed up and was about to go to bed when the system's voice sounded again. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Eagle Eye visual effect. Do you want to claim it now? Eagle Eye visual effects. What the hell is this? The Eagle Eye visual effect will assist the host to gain a super strong visual range and help the host to see at night as if it were daytime. Are there special effects like this? Receive. Li Mu muttered silently. Suddenly his eyes felt extremely refreshed, as if they had been touched by cooling oil. When he opened his eyes again, the room, which had been turned off, became completely clear in Li Mu's eyes. But Li Mu didn't understand why the system suddenly gave him this ability. According to the system's past nature, it often grants an ability only to assist with real-life needs. Could it be? Li Mu observed the room carefully, and when he saw the wardrobe, he found that there seemed to be a dark shadow standing motionless next to the wardrobe. The dark shadow seemed to be staring at him closely, like a hunter. Chapter 13: The Woman in Black. The room was dark. However, Li Mu clearly saw the black shadow move. With the eagle eye effect, Li Mu could clearly see that the black shadow should be a woman wearing black clothes. Because although it was wrapped in darkness, the figure was tall and his figure was very prominent. Could it be the killer sent by Su Kuai? Li Mu asked himself that he had not offended anyone, and he only offended Su Kuai today. Moreover, Li Mu felt that someone had been following them since they left the Jade venue. Could it be the dark shadow next to the wardrobe? Li Mu put aside all the questions for the time being. He pulled up the quilt and lay down leisurely. But he still pretended to be asleep, wanting to see what the dark shadow was going to do. After a while, Li Mu breathed deeply and seemed to have fallen asleep. The dark shadow approached quietly and then came in front of Li Mu. She looked Li Mu up and down. Suddenly, Li Mu opened his eyes and grabbed the hand of the black shadow. The black shadow was stunned but unable to break free. Who are you? Li Mu grabbed the black shadow with one hand and turned on the light with the other. When the light was turned on, the dark shadow was stunned. At a glance, Li Mu clearly saw that this was a woman. She is a beautiful woman with a great figure. She is wearing a black sportswear and a black mask. Although she is covered by a mask, you can still tell that she is a great beauty. But after just a moment of hesitation, the lady in black had a dagger in her hand and suddenly stabbed at Li Mu. Li Mu quickly withdrew his hand from the woman in black. While Li Mu was dodging, the woman in black retracted the dagger and ran out of the room. After Li Mu chased out of the room, the woman in black had disappeared. Li Mu touched his head, not understanding who this person was. Could he really have been sent by Su Kuai? The next day, while having breakfast in the morning, Li Mu told Xiao Nishang about this matter. Xiao Nishang was shocked. A girl in black who likes to sneak attack. A killer girl in black? Xiao Nishang seemed to have realized something, but she didn't say anything about calling the police or sending bodyguards to guard the villa. She just smiled. The Xiao family is really generous. Li Mu thought. I really don't know how many people you have offended by expanding your business so much. Har har. We are not afraid. In addition to this girl Xiaomuyu, we also have other guards protecting us in secret. Other guards? Maybe the person you met last night was a secret guard. Secret guard. Li Mu was a little curious. However, after asking a lot of questions, Xiao Nishang was unwilling to reveal more. By the way, don't come back for lunch. Be a good boy at home alone. When Xiao Nishang left, she pinched Li Mu's cheek, obviously thinking Li Mu was a little puppy. These days, the two of them have been spending more time together, and their relationship has become less restrained. It seems that Xiao Nishang quite enjoys the feeling of having a younger brother. Hey! Don't touch my face. I'm not a child. Li Mu was pinched on the face by Xiao Nishang and felt a little angry. However, Xiao Nishang didn't care about Li Mu's anger at all. She walked away in high heels with a giggle on her face, leaving Li Mu with a slender waist and twisting back, which made people imagine a lot. What? Li Mu touched his face. Is this the doting from his elder sister? Seeing that Xiao Nishang had not eaten anything on the table, and she also did not eat much last night, Li Mu suddenly had the idea of cooking. Ding! Congratulations to their host for obtaining the god-level cooking skill. Do you want to claim it? What you think will come true? Receive. As Li Mu silently recited. Suddenly, a warm current spread throughout Li Mu's body. Li Mu's understanding of cooking has reached an unprecedented level. Go to the kitchen and look at the ingredients in the refrigerator. Li Mu decided to try frying eggs first. Crack the eggs and stir evenly. Take out a frying pan, place it on the stove, turn on the heat, and add olive oil to the pan. After the oil is heated, pour in the egg liquid. Li Mu used the spatula skillfully, sprinkled fine salt at last, and turned off the fire. Suddenly, the aroma of the egg pancakes filled the entire villa hall. Wow! The eggs are made so delicious. Yeah. I've never thought eggs could be so delicious. The maids in the villa were drooling. Seeing everyone's expressions, Li Mu had no choice but to share the food with the servants. Then he made another one himself. But just after it was done, Li Mu turned around and went to the refrigerator to get the yogurt. When Li Mu looked back again, the omelette that had just been placed on the table had disappeared out of thin air. Forehead. There's a thief in the house. Did the servants steal it? Li Mu looked around but didn't find anything unusual. Several servants were quietly cleaning the villa. Strange. Strange. So Li Mu started cooking again and copied out an omelette. After finishing this time, he deliberately turned around and pretended to get something from the refrigerator. At this moment, he heard a noise behind him and turned around immediately, only to see a girl in black who was about to take his omelette. This girl has a curvy figure and it's obvious that she is the one who attacked Li Mu last night. But he was still wearing a black mask and his face couldn't be seen clearly. But her big peach eyes are bright and her cheeks are as white as jade. Although she was covered by a mask, Li Mu knew that she must be a peerless beauty. It's you? As Li Mu said this, he was about to go over and catch the woman in black. Chapter 14 Foodie Xiao Ziying. In the kitchen. The woman in black was shocked. The dagger was unsheathed and pointed directly at Li Mu. Li Mu took a look and dodged quickly. The master will be defeated as soon as he makes a move. This girl in black is obviously a super master. And she is no worse than fourth sister Xiaomu. However, Li Mu had acquired god-level martial arts, which was more than enough to deal with the woman in black. After a few moves, the woman in black was defeated. At this time, servants and security guards came over to try to stop the fight. Mr. Xiao Li, stop fighting. Miss, stop hitting me. Mr. Li is your brother. He is not an outsider. Miss. Younger brother. Listening to the servant's persuasion, Li Mu immediately understood the identity of the woman in black. Therefore, she was not a female assassin at all, but one of Xiao Qinghong's adopted daughters. After hearing everyone's persuasion, the woman in black finally found a way out. Snort. The woman in black stopped attacking and left with a proud look of a rooster, showing no interest. Oh! Li Mu couldn't believe that Xiao Qinghong had such a daughter. Why didn't you introduce it in advance? He also thought that all her other daughters were away from home or abroad. Who is this? Li Mu asked Wu Mar, the housekeeper in the villa. This is Madame's seventh daughter, Xiao Ziying. Aunt Wu is in her 50s, with wisps of silver hair at her temples, a kind face, and well-spoken manners. She answered Li Mu's questions with a smile. Oh. I see. Li Mu pondered. Seventh Miss is so elusive that sometimes even servants like us get scared. Seeing Li Mu's confusion, Aunt Wu explained. So that is how it is. Li Mu said this, but he still had many questions in his mind. After returning to his room, Li Mu picked up his phone and sent a message to his elder sister Xiao Nishang. Sister Nishang, what kind of person is seventh sister Xiao Ziying? Xiao Nishang, who was working in the company, saw the WeChat message sent by Li Mu and couldn't help but become interested. After meeting each other these few days, I have to say that her opinion of Li Mu has completely changed, and she even likes this younger brother more and more. You saw her? Xiao Nishang typed. Her? It's not convenient to talk on the phone. I'd better tell you when we meet in person. Xiao Nishang kept the secret. Oh well. Li Mu was a little depressed. What was there to hide? However, it's good that it's not an assassin. He thought it was a killer sent by Su Kuai. Thinking about how Xiao Ziying had just stolen his armlet, Li Mu suddenly found it funny. It seems that the seventh sister Xiao Ziying also likes her cooking skills. It seems that she is still a little greedy. By the way, Sister Nishang, I noticed that you haven't had a very good appetite these past 2 days. What would you like to eat for lunch today? I'll make it and send it to you. Can you cook? I thought the conversation was over, but when Xiao Nishang heard that Li Mu was going to bring her food, she suddenly became interested again. It's just so. Well, he is more than just a cook. He has acquired god-level cooking skills, so he is naturally an excellent cook. Okay. Surprise. Xiao Nishang wanted to see what tricks her younger brother could come up with. In fact, the company usually has work meals, and there are restaurants nearby. Of course, because she is too busy, Xiao Nishang usually eats work meals in the company. Putting down the phone, Li Mu thought about it and came up with an idea. If he was not mistaken, Xiao Nishang should be having her period. At this time, you should give her some blood-replenishing and chi-boosting meals. Li Mu had an idea in his mind and was about to go to the kitchen to check out the relevant ingredients. Finally, someone knocked on the door. Li Mu opened the door. Standing outside the door was the woman in black, the seventh sister Xiao Ziying. But now she had taken off her mask and changed out of her black clothes. Instead, he was wearing denim shorts and a white casual t-shirt. A pair of invincible long legs, with exposed buttocks, white and tight. And the chest is even bigger. The fair face, watery peach eyes, delicate nose and cherry lips make people want to taste her beauty. Needless to say, she is another stunning beauty. I heard you, Li Mu. Xiao Ziying opened her teeth slightly, her expression indifferent. Oh. Yes. Are you the seventh sister Xiao Ziying? Li Mu didn't expect that it was her who knocked on the door. The two outfits before and after were so different in style that she looked like two different people. Especially the scent of the young and beautiful girl that hit him made Li Mu feel a little hot all over. Well. You are quite skilled. But don't let me know that you bully us sisters, otherwise I will not stand idly by. Xiao Ziying's tone was stern. Oh. I can't. Li Mu always felt that the conversation between them was weird, like a child throwing a tantrum. The two of them didn't mention the fights they had last night and this morning. Since I just ate your omelette. Here, a gift for you. Xiao Ziying had one hand behind her back just now, but now this hand has turned to the front, holding a gift box. This. Li Mu was at a loss and wanted to refuse. Since you accepted the gifts from the eldest sister and the fourth sister, you can't not accept my gift. Seeing that Li Mu wanted to refuse, Xiao Ziying said this. Okay. Thank you, Sister Ziying. Li Mu took the gift. That's right. Since you are my brother and I am your sister, I will protect you from now on. Xiao Ziying said with a domineering look on her face. But combined with her pink and beautiful face, she looks a bit childish. After delivering the gift, Xiao Ziying returned to her room. Pick up the phone and start a WeChat message in the sisters group. This kid's kung fu is really amazing. He's almost tied with me. Xiao Ziying spoke toughly, but actually she felt that Li Mu was far superior to her in kung fu. Yeah. I told you. He's awesome. Fourth sister Xiao Muyu is abroad, accompanying Xiao Qinghong and Li Jianqi shopping. What's so great about being able to fight? It's important for boys to be well-mannered. How can you be brave and aggressive all day long? That's it. That's it. No, if a man doesn't know how to fight, is he still a man? The sisters group was bustling with activity again. Here, after Xiao Ziying left, Li Mu opened the gift box that Xiao Ziying had given him. He found that it was an ancient token with the word shadow engraved on it. What is this? Li Mu was speechless for a moment and casually placed it in the room. Li Mu went into the kitchen, and soon 3 dishes and a soup were ready. Just as he was about to put the food into the lunchbox, he saw Xiao Ziying quietly walking towards him. Although her footsteps were very light, Li Mu could hear them clearly. What do you do? Xiao Ziying seemed a little embarrassed. She was just in the yard when she suddenly smelled a fragrance. She walked over and saw Li Mu cooking in the kitchen. Come and have a taste. Seeing Xiao Ziying swallowing her saliva, Li Mu could see it. It happened that Li Mu made a little too much, so he put some on a plate and handed it to Xiao Ziying. Seeing Li Mu handing over the food enthusiastically with a handsome look on his face, and thinking about how greedy she was, Xiao Ziying's cheeks turned red. Looking at the food on the table, Xiao Ziying was still a little reserved at first, but after a few bites, Xiao Ziying relaxed. This food is so delicious. Xiao Ziying didn't expect it. She has been to many countries and tasted all kinds of food, but the seemingly ordinary dishes in front of her made her appetite grow, and she exclaimed that they were delicious. How is it? Li Mu smiled as he watched Xiao Ziying change from being reserved at the beginning to eating with relish now. Yeah. Nice pool. Xiao Ziying ate and talked at the same time, without any trace of girlish reserve. I have to say, this girl is a big eater. In no time at all, he ate it all up. Anything else? Xiao Ziying said this almost subconsciously. But as soon as she said it, Xiao Ziying regretted it. Where is the elegance of a girl? Where is the modesty of a girl? Chapter 15, Lunch Delivery. There are some left, but they are for Sister Nishang. If you want to eat some, I'll make it for you tonight. Li Mu chuckled. It turned out that Xiao Ziying was a foodie. Don't be so proud. It's your honor that I can eat your food. If it was cooked by ordinary people, I wouldn't eat it. Xiao Ziying curled her lips, no longer as cold and stern as before, but instead looked a little cute and naive. It's almost noon. Li Mu took the packed lunchbox, left the villa in the community, took a taxi and headed to the Qinghong Group building. The headquarters of Qinghong Group is located in the core area of Magic City. Because his business started out in real estate, Xiao Qinghong bought land here very early on and built a building as his headquarters. Nowadays, in this city where every inch of land is valuable, this building with more than 30 floors is probably worth tens of billions. Li Mu came to the Qinghong Group building and walked in while admiring Xiao Qinghong's courage and vision. Come to the information desk in the lobby on the first floor. Two beautiful young ladies are at work. Excuse me, which floor is President Xiao Nishang on? Li Mu asked one of the young ladies. Sir, do you have an appointment? What's your name? Seeing the handsome boy in front of her, the receptionist's eyes suddenly lit up. It's an appointment, right? My last name is Li. Li? The lady at the front desk checked on the computer but did not find any appointments for Mr. Li. I'm sorry, Mr. Li, the computer shows that Mr. Xiao doesn't have an appointment with you. The lady at the front desk smiled politely. She has seen many handsome young men like this. Could he be pursuing Mr. Xiao again? No. Why don't you give your CEO Xiao a call and ask? This. I'm sorry, Mr. Li, I can't just call Mr. Xiao casually. The lady at the front desk was a little embarrassed. Forget it, I'll just call her directly. Li Mu did not make things difficult for the young lady in front of him, after all, they were all working people. Li Mu picked up the phone and called Xiao Nishang directly. After a while, the call was connected. Hey! Sister Nishang. I'm here to bring you lunch. I'm already in your lobby on the first floor. Okay. I almost forgot. I'll ask the front desk to send you up. Xiao Nishang's voice sounded a little tired. After hanging up the phone with Li Mu, Xiao Nishang notified the front desk again. The lady at the front desk took Li Mu to the elevator. I'm sorry. Mr. Li, I didn't know you had an appointment with Mr. Xiao. The lady at the front desk was actually a little surprised. There has almost never been a boy who brought food to Ms. Xiao. Could this person be Ms. Xiao's boyfriend? Thinking of this, the young lady dared not offend Li Mu. It's okay, you're right to do your job impartially. Li Mu smiled indifferently, looking so handsome that the receptionist couldn't help but blush. Soon, the elevator arrived at the top floor, the 32nd floor. At the secretary reception desk outside the president's office, there is also another beautiful young lady, who seems to be Xiao Nishang's secretary. Mr. Li, please come in, Mr. Xiao is waiting for you. The female secretary was wearing a professional suit, had an outstanding figure, a pretty face and a bright smile. Li Mu nodded and pushed open the door to the president's office. In the room, Xiao Nishang was buried in her work, looking a little overwhelmed. Because recently Qinghong Group is shifting from real estate to other industries, one of which is the cosmetics industry. Although several formulas were developed, the response was mediocre after they were put on the market. Moreover, after investing in cosmetics for the past 2 years, there has been no profit and the company is still suffering from continuous losses. As the saying goes, if you don't move forward, you will move backward. The Nishang group seems powerful, but in fact it is full of internal contradictions. It was Nishang who strongly advocated joining the cosmetics industry at that time. However, there has been no results in the past 2 years, which makes Nishang feel frustrated. At the same time, other subordinates begin to doubt Nishang's leadership ability. "Sister Nishang, your lunch is here." Li Mu walked in and spoke. "Thank you. I didn't know you could cook." Nishang raised her head, smiled sweetly, and stopped working. "Sister Nishang, try it." Li Mu opened the lunchboxes one by one, took out all the dishes and put them on the table. Li Mu cooked 3 dishes, 1 soup and rice. Scrambled eggs with tomatoes, sweet and sour pork ribs, stir-fried pork with chili peppers, for red soup, and a bowl of rice. Looking at the dishes in front of her, Nishang's eyes lit up. She had been working for a whole morning and was indeed a little hungry. "You're interested, so I'll start." Nishang picked up the rice bowl and took a piece of tomato and egg first. The fragrant and glutinous rice, the sweet fragrance of tomatoes, and the soft and fragrant eggs immediately stimulated Nishang's taste buds. She couldn't help but pick up another piece of sweet and sour pork ribs. It tasted sweet and sour, and was perfect with rice. As for the stir-fried pork with hot peppers, it is spicy and goes well with rice, and is extremely delicious. In a short while, Nishang had finished 3 dishes and a bowl of rice. Nishang had also eaten all kinds of delicacies from land and sea, but she never thought that the food cooked by Li Mu would be even more delicious than that cooked by Michelin chef. "Sister Nishang, try this for red soup. It contains red beans, purple glutinous rice, red dates, and red kidney beans. It helps replenish qi and blood." Li Mu filled a bowl of soup and handed it to Nishang. "This soup is delicious." Nishang took a sip and praised it highly. After drinking a bowl of soup, Nishang felt extremely comfortable, and her originally pale face became rosy. "Before I knew it, I had finished all the food that Li Mu brought." Looking at the naked pandai, Nishang burped and felt a little shy at the same time. "Was the way I ate just now too unsightly?" "Thank you. Li Mu, I haven't enjoyed a meal so much in a long time." Nishang enjoyed the delicious meal and praised it generously. "Sister Nishang, I'm glad you like it. I'll bring you lunch these days." "I see Sister Nishang looks a little off these days." "That's fine. If you don't have anything to do, then come over." Such food really made Nishang excited. The more she looked at her brother, the more she liked him. "Oh, right. What does 7th sister Xiao Ziyin do?" "She was actually lurking in my bedroom last night, and this morning she secretly ate the omelets I made." Li Mu couldn't help but ask curiously. "She actually stole the omelets you made?" Nishang was very curious, but she felt relieved when she thought about Li Mu's cooking skills. "She is a shadow guard who serves the government. But I don't know much about her specific job." Nishang preached with a smile on her face. "Shadow guard." Li Mu had never heard of this name. "She just came back last night, and I haven't had the chance to introduce her to you yet. She probably wants to see what your brother is capable of, and she doesn't intend to target you." Nishang thought about it and then preached. "So that is how it is." Li Mu sighed. Xiao Qinghong has 9 daughters, each of them is outstanding. Now Li Mu has only seen the eldest sister Nishang, the 4th sister Muyu and the 7th sister Xiao Ziying, and he doesn't know what the other 4 look like. After packing up, Li Mu left Qinghong building carrying his lunch box. Watching Li Mu leave, the 2 receptionists started chattering. "Oh my god. Big news. The big devil Mr. Xiao is actually in love. Don't talk nonsense. Be careful that Mr. Xiao hears you. That boy is so handsome. Even I am attracted to him. He is really handsome. He and CEO Xiao are perfect match. He even brought lunch to CEO Xiao. What a sweet guy." In the president's office, Nishang burped, opened the sisters group with her mobile phone, and posted the delicious photos she took at lunch. Although the lunch was very homely, Li Mu's cooking skills were amazing. He cooked to the standard of a 3-star Michelin chef. Nishang leaned comfortably on the boss's chair, folding her legs and placing them on the boss's desk without any image. Her tight long legs were wrapped in a pair of black shiny stockings, sparkling in the sunlight. Chapter 16 Xiao Nishang's Crisis. Wow. Sister, you have no moral principles. At the beginning you said Li Mu was a liar. I didn't expect you to fall for it now. That's right. That's right. You're slapping yourself in the face too harshly. Could it be that big sister has a crush on Li Mu? This little brother is so cocky. I can't help but pinch his little face. Humph. I'll go back next month and meet this stinky brother too. In the sister group, after seeing Xiao Nishang's sweet speech, the sisters teased Xiao Nishang one after another. Sister, I don't care what you say. Xiao Nishang smiled knowingly, put down her phone, and went back to work. But how should the formula of cosmetics be optimized? Xiao Nishang became anxious again. In the evening, when Xiao Nishang came back, it was almost 12 o'clock. Sister. Why are you back so late? Li Mu looked at Xiao Nishang's pale face and asked with concern. I'm just a little busy at work. Xiao Nishang frowned, took off her coat, and slumped on the sofa with a tired look on her face. She looked like a salted fish, and didn't look like a domineering female CEO at all. Sister, have you had dinner? I'll cook you another bowl of noodles. Xiao Nishang didn't come back during dinner time, so Li Mu was not sure whether Xiao Nishang had eaten dinner or not. This girl was really working like a madman. Okay. Thinking of the delicious food made by Li Mu, Xiao Nishang suddenly became interested. After a while, a bowl of tomato noodles was placed on the table. Li Mu, how come you know everything? Smelling the bowl of noodles on the table, Xiao Nishang's appetite was aroused. It's okay. I just happen to know a little bit of everything. Li Mu smiled handsomely. Great. You guys were eating delicious food and didn't even call me. Just as Xiao Nishang was about to start eating, her seventh sister Xiao Ziying, who was wearing pajamas, came over rubbing her eyes. The girl was about to go to sleep, but when she smelled the aroma of noodles, she got up from the bed again. Sister Ziying, do you want to eat noodles too? Wait a moment. Li Mu looked at Xiao Ziying's eyes staring at the bowl of noodles and couldn't help but find it funny. Xiao Ziying seemed like a dragon that was hard to find all day long, but he didn't expect that she was a foodie. After a short while, the noodles were ready and the two sisters began to eat them with a slurp. The next day at noon, Li Mu went to deliver lunch to Xiao Nishang again. This time, no one stopped him along the way, and the lady at the front desk looked at him and treated him like a VIP. And yesterday, the company was full of rumors that the big devil Xiao Nishang had found a boyfriend, so wherever Li Mu passed by, many people looked at Li Mu with curiosity, envy, and jealousy. But when Li Mu arrived outside the president's office, Li Mu, who had good hearing, heard noisy sounds coming from the room. Boss Xiao, I think we can cancel this cosmetics project now. A cold man's voice. I don't think it should be cut off. We should try harder and not give up so easily. Xiao Nishang's voice sounded a little tired. Oh. Don't give up. Are we going to continue to lose money? We are businessmen, not charity. Since we are not making money, just give up. Mr. Xiao. The man had a resolute attitude and seemed to not take Xiao Nishang seriously at all, and his words were full of sarcasm. Yes. President Xiao. The board of directors is very skeptical about your decisions over the past 2 years and is deeply skeptical about whether you should continue to serve as president. An old voice sounded, with a slightly more tactful attitude, but also a fatal blow. What do you mean by several uncles? Xiao Nishang was on the verge of a rage. These people are all shareholders of the company. When Xiao Qinghong was rising, they got shares in the group and made a fortune. Unexpectedly, they want more now. Xiao Nishang felt threatened. After all, the combined shares of these shareholders were equal to those held by the Xiao family. There were several voices inside, which were obviously asking Xiao Nishang to give up the cosmetics project, and some even began to question Xiao Nishang's leadership ability. The implication of forcing the emperor to abdicate is already very obvious. This is a business founded by our Xiao family. Are you going to rebel now? Xiao Nishang finally got angry. After a while, everyone came out dejectedly, with different expressions on their faces. Mr. Li, can you come in now? But Mr. Xiao doesn't seem very happy. Secretary Xiao Li kindly reminded Li Mu. I'll take care of it. Li Mu took the lunchbox and opened the door to enter. Sister Nishang, are you angry? Looking at Xiao Nishang sitting tiredly in the boss chair, Li Mu asked carefully. Li Mu, you're here. Xiao Nishang felt a little better when she saw Li Mu come in. Look what I made for you for lunch today. Li Mu opened the lunchbox and took out each one. They are braised pork, stir-fried cauliflower, whitebait and eggs, white fungus and lotus seed soup, and a bowl of rice. Looking at the 3 dishes and 1 soup in front of her, Xiao Nishang had no appetite at all. Sister Nishang, what specific difficulties did you encounter? Seeing that Xiao Nishang had little interest in eating, Li Mu changed the subject. The cosmetics company under our umbrella has not developed any flagship products. The products we have released in the past 2 years have not been well received by the market, so the company has been losing money in the cosmetics business. Xiao Nishang frowned and spoke slowly. She didn't know why she wanted to share it with Li Mu. I see. What if I provide you with the formula? Li Mu thought about it and then preached. After all, as he possesses divine medical skills, he naturally knows many traditional Chinese medicine formulas for beauty and skin care. You have the recipe. Xiao Nishang just thought that Li Mu was comforting her. Their company has been researching and developing for 2 years but still hasn't come up with a good product. How could a good product be produced overnight? Sister, you can't underestimate me. No matter what your brother says, he knows a little bit about medicine. There are many ancient prescriptions for beauty and skin care in traditional Chinese medicine. Li Mu preached confidently. I guess what you said makes some sense. Xiao Nishang thought that even her neighbor, the old Chinese Dr. Qin, had to worship Li Mu as his teacher, so Li Mu must know something. However, can medical skills and cosmetics be the same? Yi Nishang was a little hesitant to believe it completely. Sister, you have to trust me. How about we work together to develop a cosmetic product? Li Mu did not doubt it. He picked up the paper and pen on the table and wrote down an ancient recipe. This ancient recipe was used by women in ancient imperial palaces to maintain their skin. Is this possible? Looking at the prescription Li Mu took out, Xiao Nishang hesitated. You'll know after trying it. Li Mu said confidently. But, sister, you should finish your meal first. Good. Xiao Nishang suddenly became excited. For this meal, Li Mu's cooking skills were still on point and Xiao Nishang enjoyed the meal very much. However, I still have some doubts about the prescription given by Li Mu. Chapter 17 Miracle Cream. After lunch, Secretary Xiaoli drove Xiao Nishang and Li Mu to the factory in the suburbs. This cosmetics factory is a subsidiary of the Qinghong Group and was established specifically to develop the cosmetics market. 2 years later, the factory still maintains a relatively small scale because the cosmetics it produces have a very mediocre market response and has even been making losses. Small but complete. The factory also has a research and development department dedicated to developing new products. Factory R&D department. Master Hua, follow this recipe and make a sample for me to see. As soon as Xiao Nishang arrived at the R&D department, she went straight to the point and handed over the prescription written by Li Mu. Is this an ancient Chinese medicine recipe? When Master Hua saw that the prescription was full of names of medicinal herbs, he couldn't help but hesitate. The factory has also purchased some ancient Chinese medical recipes for beauty and skin care from the public, but the effects are very average, and some of the recipes are simply misleading. Okay. Mr. Xiao. I'll do it right away. Although Master Hua is the main force of the R&D department, he is also an employee. Now that the boss has spoken, what else can he say? It's just that he is not optimistic about this so-called ancient recipe. Following the detailed steps written by Li Mu, the sample was finally produced 3 hours later. This sample. Xiao Nishang looked at the sample in her hand, which looked dusty, and couldn't bear to complain. Some international brands are all white and tender, but the samples made with this ancient recipe are too rustic. Sister Nishang, this is made using ancient craftsmanship, and is made completely according to the production process in the ancient recipe. Master Hua curled his lips. He was also afraid that Xiao Nishang would blame him, so he tried to distance himself from the responsibility in advance. Anyway, it's not my fault. The ancient recipe is written this way. If you want to blame someone, blame the person who wrote the recipe. Sister Nishang, although the appearance is a little non-mainstream, the effect is very good. No, you will know if you find someone to try it. Li Mu looked calm. The appearance was average, but wouldn't it be better if it was packaged? And the main thing was the effect. All right. Xiao Nishang gave the order, and soon Master Hu found a volunteer. The Qinghong Cosmetics Department recruited some volunteers for a fee, and the compensation for volunteers was often very generous, so the volunteers did not suffer any loss. If something unexpected happened to the experimental product, the volunteers also enjoyed corresponding comprehensive protection such as medical care. Therefore, there were still many people who came to Qinghong Group to apply for volunteer positions. The volunteer in front of me is a girl with dark skin and freckles on her face. Xiaofeng, come and try it. Seeing Zhu Xiaofeng's name written on the volunteer's ID card, Xiao Nishang gave instructions. Okay. The freckled girl followed the standard steps for the trial. She washed her face first, then picked up the ancient facial cream in front of her and applied it evenly on her face. Wait patiently for a while, and after 20 minutes, wash off the cream. When she washed her face again and saw herself in the mirror, the freckled girl named Xiaofeng became extremely excited and even screamed. Her skin, which was originally a bit dark, has now become fair and tender, and even her original freckles have faded. Wow! Is this an illusion? Xiao Nishang and Secretary Xiaoli rubbed their eyes, unable to believe what they saw. It's a pity that I didn't take a photo just now, otherwise they would look like two completely different people. How is this possible? Master Hu from the development department also opened his mouth wide in surprise, so wide that he could fit an egg in it. He has been in this business for more than 20 years and has never seen such a magical recipe. The other people present were also shocked. Master Hu, go find a few more volunteers. It was Xiao Nishang who calmed down first and gave instructions to the dazed Master Hu. Yes. Okay. I'll do it right away. Master Hu immediately understood Xiao Nishang's intention. The probability of success with just one volunteer is too small. We must have more people try it together to get objective results. Soon, Master Hu found more than a dozen volunteers. Their skin types are different, but after using Li Mu's ancient facial cream, they all have different degrees of improvement. There were even a few volunteers whose skin became fairer and rosier, and their overall temperament was greatly improved after using it once. After seeing the results of the experiment, everyone naturally admired President Xiao and flattered him loudly. Boss Xiao, you really have a keen eye. This product will definitely be a big hit. What a hit! I think this product will definitely take over the international market. Boss Xiao is amazing. Boss Xiao will be my goddess from now on. Everyone was talking at once, and the RD department was extremely lively. In the past 2 years, they have had a deep sense of crisis, and even felt that if they did not develop good products, they would probably lose their jobs. However, they did not expect that today there would be a sudden turn of events and a ray of hope. Boss Xiao. Can I try it out, too? I want one too, Mr. Xiao. This product is amazing. I want it too. My girlfriend will absolutely love it when she uses it. In the RD office, seeing the magic of this product, both men and women are eager to try it. Okay. Everyone will get a share. But now is the early stage of production, so we need everyone to work together to optimize the production steps and get this product on the market as soon as possible. Seeing her colleagues eager to try it out, Xiao Nishang could imagine the sensation this product would bring after it was launched on the market. However, as the CEO of a company, she still encouraged everyone. Only after ensuring many work details did Xiao Nishang have some free time from her busy schedule. Li Mu sat beside him, drinking tea leisurely. Looking at Li Mu's leisurely appearance, Xiao Nishang smiled knowingly. This little brother always gives her so many surprises. With this ancient recipe, no one will ever question her leadership as a president again. Li Mu, how did you get this ancient recipe? Xiao Nishang came to Li Mu and asked curiously. I have learned some medical skills and happen to have some experience, so I put them together and wrote this prescription. Li Mu was already very good at making up lies. He couldn't tell Xiao Nishang that this was what the system told him, right? Li Mu, you are so amazing. Xiao Nishang knew that Li Mu was powerful before, but she didn't expect that Li Mu was so powerful that he could even write a beauty recipe, and this recipe was so shocking. If such a magical cream is launched on the market, it will surely be crazily sought after by those beauty-loving young girls and middle-aged ladies. Li Mu, what do you think this face cream should be called? Now that Xiao Nishang has such a high-quality product, she naturally hopes to bring it to market as soon as possible. Sister. If not, just call me Nishang. Li Mu thought about it and then preached. Nishang. He actually used his own name. Xiao Nishang couldn't believe her ears. This facial cream is so easy to use, it will surely be popular in the market, and by then Nishang will probably be known to everyone. Okay. I'll listen to you. The brand of the new product will be called Nishang. Xiao Nishang was extremely excited. All along, Xiao Nishang has actually lived in the shadow of her mother Xiao Qinghong. My mother Xiao Qinghong seized the opportunity of the times and achieved rapid development in the real estate industry. Nowadays, when people talk about the Qinghong Group, the first thing they think of is real estate. Xiao Nishang tried her hand in the cosmetics industry because she wanted to get rid of her mother's shadow and create her own world. Now with the recipe given by Li Mu, Xiao Nishang saw hope of breaking through the miracle created by her mother. Thinking about being able to get away from her mother's presence, Xiao Nishang was so excited that she couldn't control herself. This little brother is so handsome. She even had the urge to hug Li Mu and give him a slap on the face. Chapter 18. My sister is a big star. Li Mu, you said you helped me so much, how should I thank you? Xiao Nishang looked at Li Mu with seductive eyes. Well, you're my sister, saying thank you would be too polite. Li Mu just did it casually without thinking about what Xiao Nishang would give him in return. That won't do. Since this recipe was provided by you and is the result of your labor, I must pay you the corresponding compensation. Xiao Nishang said stubbornly. Sister, I really didn't think about making money with this recipe. I just didn't want to see you worried and sad. Li Mu swore solemnly. His words touched Xiao Nishang deeply. Xiao Nishang moved closer to Li Mu and kissed him on the cheek unexpectedly. Li Mu was stunned. This old lady is so fierce. Feeling the softness on his cheek just now, Li Mu's inner fire was rising. Fortunately, Xiao Nishang did not take any further action. I know you don't care. But do you know, Li Mu, how important this prescription is to me? Xiao Nishang tidied up the hair scattered on her temples, her cheeks slightly red. She was just moved for a moment, which made her do such a shy kiss. From now on, I've decided that you will hold 50% of the shares of the Nishang brand, and I'll hold the other half. Sister. This is inappropriate. I don't know how to run a business. Li Mu just wants to be a free and easy person and doesn't want to be tied down by any job position. What's more, he has a system to rely on, so he can make money easily by doing anything, and after the Imperial Green was opened last time, he now has 120 million in cash in his account. In short, Li Mu just wants to be a carefree salted fish. No. I have to give you half. Otherwise I won't agree. Xiao Nishang hugged Li Mu's arm, her tone sounding both angry and coquettish. Soon, under Xiao Nishang's instructions, Secretary Xiaoli drafted a share contract. Li Mu saw that he couldn't get over it, so he signed. From then on, Li Mu obtained half of the future profits from this ancient recipe. Xiao Nishang became even busier because she planned to launch this facial cream on the market within half a month. Next, for several days, Xiao Nishang rarely returned to the villa, and even ate and slept in the office. Xiao Ziying was elusive and Li Mu didn't know whether she lived in the villa or not. She would just come down to eat when she saw the delicious food Li Mu prepared during mealtime. That day, Li Mu was planning to go to the swimming pool behind the villa for a swim. As a result, to his surprise, Xiao Ziying was there too. Xiao Ziying was wearing a bikini and had a sexy body. She was soaking wet as she had just come out of the water, which was simply tempting. Hey! Have you seen enough? Looking at Li Mu's stupid look, Xiao Ziying blushed slightly and said unhappily. Sister Ziying. How could I see it? Li Mu quickly looked away to cover up. Humph. You still say you didn't see it. All men are pigs. Xiao Ziying said with shame and anger. This made Li Mu not know how to answer for a moment. Li Mu, accompany me out later. We are going to the airport to pick someone up. Seeing that Li Mu didn't answer, Xiao Ziying changed the subject. Pick someone up? Who? Li Mu asked curiously. Don't worry about this, just go with me. Xiao Ziying kept the secret. Oh well. Since he was just lying around at home, Li Mu agreed. Soon, the two drove straight to the Magic City airport. As the planes slowly landed. At the VIP pickup area, a young woman came out. The woman wore a black mask, frog-shaped glasses, a beret, and a loose black coat, almost fully armed. Although I can't see her face clearly, judging from the fair skin on her cheeks, she must be a great beauty. and her every move was indescribably elegant. Little sister. Over here. Xiao Ziying waved towards the woman. Fourth sister. When the woman saw Xiao Ziying, she walked over quickly. Soon, Xiao Ziying and the woman hugged each other, as intimate as best friends. This is brother Li Mu, right? Breaking away from Xiao Ziying's arms, the elegant woman took off her brown frog-shaped glasses and looked Li Mu up and down. Who are you? Li Mu was somewhat astonished. This woman had a pair of big peach blossom eyes, which were lively and had long eyelashes. In the blink of an eye, she was indescribably lively. I am your eighth sister Xiao Yuqing. This elegant woman smiled and preached. Eighth sister, Xiao Yuqing. Li Mu's eyes were full of curiosity. Remember. Call me sister from now on. Xiao Yuqing blinked and spoke to Li Mu. She was also curious about Li Mu. Li Mu's state was always somewhat mechanical and confused, because he seemed to have seen this woman somewhere before, but he couldn't put his finger on it. At this moment, someone suddenly shouted in the crowd at the airport. Wow! It's the big star Xiao Jiwei. Everyone in the airport was stunned for a moment, and then looked towards the source of the sound, a petite Lolita. It's Xiao Jiwei. That's right. This Lolita shouted and pointed her finger at Li Mu. Suddenly, the crowd at the airport was in an uproar. In an instant, Xiao Yuqing was surrounded by people of all kinds. Ms. Jiwei, can you sign an autograph for me? Ms. Jiwei, can you take a photo with me? Ms. Jiwei, are you really in love with Hanjia again? The fans are so enthusiastic. Until now, Li Mu finally woke up. It turned out that the eighth sister Xiao Yuqing was the top domestic actress Xiao Jiwei. It seems that Xiao Jiwei is Xiao Yuqing's stage name. No wonder Li Mu looked familiar just now. In such a big city like Shanghai, her advertisements can be seen in many subways and stations. However, what is curious is that no one knows the relationship between Xiao Jiwei and Qinghong Group. This is hidden so deeply. Looking at the fans' entanglement, Xiao Jiwei still kept smiling and met the fans' requests one by one. However, as more and more people gathered in the airport, Xiao Jiwei was a little overwhelmed. Even the airport security had to come over to maintain order, which shows how popular Xiao Jiwei is. Fortunately, with the help of Xiao Ziying and Li Mu, they finally got rid of the fans' entanglement and ran to the airport parking lot. They got in the car, Li Mu drove, and the two sisters sat in the back seat, laughing and chatting in private along the way. Li Mu became more and more curious about Xiao Yuqing. At this time, Xiao Yuqing took off her mask and glasses, revealing her unparalleled beauty. Her beauty is not inferior to that of her eldest sister Xiao Nishang and fourth sister Xiao Ziying, but she excels in temperament. She is simply a fairy from heaven. Every frown and smile is captivating. It is rumored that this person is not only a great singer, but also an excellent actor. I just didn't expect that she was also Li Mu's sister. Chapter 19 Musical Talent arrives. In the villa, Xiao Yuqing took a shower, changed into a white t-shirt and cropped khaki pants, took a beautiful look in front of the mirror, gathered her loose hair, tied it up high with a rubber band, put on some makeup, and then walked out of the room refreshed. Looking at this big star sister walking down from the room upstairs, she looked like a well-behaved girl from the Lin family, and Li Mu's eyes were almost wide open. Although Xiao Yuqing was wearing a loose t-shirt, she still couldn't help but feel her chest trembling, the scale of which was truly breathtaking. This sister is so beautiful that she is inhuman. Li Mu, nice to meet you. I hope you like this gift. Coming to Li Mu, Xiao Yuqing handed him an exquisite little gift box. Li Mu was speechless. Why did these sisters give gifts as soon as they met? However, it was a good intention after all, and Li Mu couldn't refuse it. Li Mu took the gift box and opened it. Inside the box was a car key. I heard that no one has given you a car yet. I happen to be traveling a lot and I hardly ever drive the car I bought before, so I thought of giving it to you. Xiao Yuqing's voice is like ice falling on a jade plate, with a strong texture. Thank you, sis. Li Mu didn't expect that the big star sister would give him such a gift, but it was very practical, as he just happened to be in need of a car. Let's go. I'll show you the car. Seeing that Li Mu accepted the key, Xiao Yuqing was naturally very happy, and she took Li Mu to the parking lot under the villa. Here. That's the one. Try sitting on it. Xiao Yuqing pointed at a silver sports car. Li Mu picked up the key, pressed it twice, and saw the headlights of the silver sports car light up. Li Mu opened its blade-style door and got in. The interior of this sports car is spacious and does not feel shabby at all. The leather seats are quite exquisite and the steering wheel is full of technology. As soon as the car was started, a roar was heard, and it was like a beast about to be released from a cage. Soon, Li Mu drove the sports car out of the villa, circled the community a few times, and then went to the road for a ride. In short, this car is awesome. Li Mu specially checked the car on his mobile phone and found out that it was the Pagani Zonda, which is limited to 50 units worldwide and costs at least over 400 million. This gift doesn't look cheap. Thank you. I really like it. After returning to the villa, Li Mu preached to Xiao Yuqing very happily. As long as you like it. Seeing Li Mu's excitement, Xiao Yuqing was naturally very happy as well. In the evening, Xiao Nishang, who had been working overtime for several days, finally came back. When she saw Xiao Yuqing, Xiao Nishang gave her a big hug. Yuqing, I'm really sorry to trouble you this time. Although Xiao Nishang looked tired, she was still very happy to see Xiao Yuqing, whom she hadn't seen for a long time. No way. Since you guys have developed new cosmetics, it's only right for me to come back and endorse your company. Xiao Yuqing said generously and happily. But Yuqing, will this conflict with your contract with Qianyu company? After all, this invitation was not approved by your company. Xiao Nishang said with some concern. That won't be a problem. I'll do it first and ask for your permission later. Just tell my assistant later. Xiao Yuqing said indifferently. Har har. It's like this again. You didn't sneak out again, did you? Yeah. About the same. Xiao Yuqing stuck out her tongue, not looking like a female star at all. Oh. I didn't expect it to be like this again. Xiao Nishang rubbed her brows, not knowing how to praise this sister. By the way, you said that the new product your company developed is very outstanding. I wonder if I can try it out in advance. Xiao Yuqing asked expectantly. Of course. As Xiao Nishang spoke, she took out a sample from her bag and handed it to Xiao Yuqing. Let me give it a try. Girls really have no immunity to cosmetics. Xiao Yuqing was no exception. After a while, Xiao Yuqing was holding a mirror and started shouting. Wow! This cream is amazing. How can it be so magical? Xiao Yuqing couldn't believe her eyes. In just over 10 minutes, my face became so radiant and beautiful that I looked like a fairy. Sister. You can't give this endorsement to anyone else. You have to let me do it. Xiao Yuqing hugged Xiao Nishang's arm and said clingingly. Okay. Here you go. Xiao Nishang was laughing so hard that her body was shaking. By the way, was this cosmetic developed by your company? Xiao Yuqing couldn't help but ask curiously. Why can't our company develop it? No. The ones you developed before were too ordinary. But how come it's so good this time? Guess who developed this formula? Xiao Nishang smiled mysteriously and kept the secret. Sister, what are you talking about? Xiao Yuqing said coquettishly. In fact, it's all Li Mu's credit. Li Mu wrote the Chinese herbal medicine formula alone. What? Is brother Li Mu so powerful? Xiao Yuqing couldn't help but look at Li Mu, who had been sitting quietly beside her. This little brother is so handsome, I didn't expect he can also develop cosmetics. It's just luck. Li Mu laughed. In fact, Li Mu had been thinking about how to return the favor. When they first met, Xiao Yuqing gave him a sports car worth 40 million. Li Mu felt guilty if he didn't give a gift in return. At this moment, the system's voice came again. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the God-level musical talent. Do you want to claim it now? Chapter 20 Xiao Yuqing's shock. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the God-level musical talent. Do you want to claim it now? God-level musical talent. Li Mu was happy. What you need will come to you. Receive. All of a sudden, all kinds of music theory and musical instrument knowledge flooded into Li Mu's mind, and he suddenly transformed from a music novice into a music master who had been immersed in music for decades. Li Mu felt this was magical. It was great to have a system. However, how to write a song for Xiao Yuqing? It requires a good opportunity. Xiao Yuqing is already gaining the reputation of a little music queen. If she can add a few more good songs, she might be able to go one step further and consolidate her position in the music industry. Li Mu returned to his room and listened to the music of this world. I took out a pen and paper, pondered my thoughts for a while, and after a while of writing and drawing, a song came to life. Is it okay to give this song to Sister Yuqing? Li Mu looked at the song on the paper and nodded with satisfaction. The songs written on the spur of the moment are at least up to par and are at first-rate level. The next day, Xiao Yuqing started shooting an advertisement for the Nishang brand. Under Xiao Nishang's arrangement, Li Mu acted as a driver and bodyguard, staying with Xiao Yuqing all the time. At the shooting site, several shots in a row were all passed in one go, and the shooting went quite smoothly. The work was completed early at noon. Sister Yuqing, I'll treat you to lunch at noon. Li Mu invited. Yesterday, Xiao Yuqing gave Li Mu a supercar as a gift, so naturally he should express his gratitude. Okay. Xiao Yuqing was naturally very happy. This younger brother is handsome and very attentive to her. Soon, the two arrived at a nearby Western restaurant. This restaurant is located on the 100th floor of the Shanghai Global Building. From the windows you can overlook the entire core of Shanghai. Naturally, the dishes here are quite expensive. In order to enhance the style of the restaurant, in addition to the luxurious decoration, a Steinway piano is placed in the center of the restaurant. Li Mu chose a seat by the window. Of course, in order to avoid being disturbed by fans, Xiao Yuqing wore a mask throughout the whole process and only took it off when it was time to eat. Li Mu ordered an 8-well steak and French foie gras, while Xiao Yuqing ordered pasta and a vegetable and fruit salad. Wow! Sister, you eat so little. Do you want some more? No. I'm trying to lose weight recently. Looking at Xiao Yuqing's devilish figure, Li Mu was speechless. Does this still require weight loss? Xiao Yuqing is big where she should be big, and thin where she should be thin. She doesn't look fat at all. She wore a pair of tight white trousers, a lace shirt, and a shawl today, looking very intellectual. At this time, in the middle of the restaurant, a girl in a long skirt sat next to the piano. After a while, a beautiful piano piece sounded. The two of them were having a pleasant meal while listening to piano music. However, Xiao Yuqing frowned slightly. This girl's playing level seems to be average. At this time, Xiao Yuqing's phone rang. It was unknown what they talked about. After hanging up the phone, Xiao Yuqing was in a bad mood. Sister. Are you okay? Li Mu asked with concern. I'm fine. It's just a business matter. In fact, the person who just called her was her agent, who complained that Xiao Yuqing had secretly run to Shanghai and that the sales of her newly released song album were not good. Sister, what do you think of this song? When Li Mu saw Xiao Yuqing looking depressed, he thought of the song he wrote last night. At this time, he took it out of his pocket and handed it to Xiao Yuqing. Can you write songs? Xiao Yuqing took it and looked at it curiously. She didn't care much at first, but the more she watched, the more excited she became, and she even started humming to herself in the end. Did you really write this song? After a while, Xiao Yuqing finally asked. His excitement is beyond words. Well, what do you think? Li Mu really wanted to know what this little queen of the music world thought. Excellent. Could become a classic. Xiao Yuqing thought about it and gave an objective evaluation. I saw you just said you were having trouble in your career and I didn't know how to help you. I hope this song can help you. Li Mu spoke calmly. You want to give me this song? Xiao Yuqing was shocked. This song has great potential, maybe it can help her singing career get a step closer. Of course it's for you. I wrote it last night. It's just that there's no right time to give it to you. You wrote this last night. Xiao Yuqing was amazed again, as if what was happening before her eyes was not so real. After all, how could a song like this, which could potentially become a classic, be written casually? Don't believe it? Then I'll play another piano piece for you. Li Mu smiled confidently. When he first came in, he saw the piano in the middle and was eager to try it out. Can you play the piano? Xiao Yuqing didn't expect this. Yeah, I know a little bit. As Li Mu spoke, he stood up and walked towards the piano in the middle of the restaurant. If you want to show off, then show off their whole set. Hello, can I use the piano for a moment? I just had an inspiration and want to try playing it. Li Mu preached to the girl in a long skirt who was playing the piano. Okay. Seeing the handsome boy in front of her, the girl in the long skirt's eyes lit up and she stood up and gave up the piano. Sitting down in front of the piano, Li Mu played it casually to try out the feel. After warming up, Li Mu closed his eyes and cleared his mind. As thoughts and emotions brewed and invested, a beautiful melody suddenly sounded. The piece of music played by Li Mu was an impromptu creation. The style of the music is soft and gentle, penetrating into people's hearts, and has the flavor of a modern autumn rain. He tells the wonderful thoughts tenderly and affectionately, neither hurried nor slow, neither long nor short. This piece of music is like a flowing stream, flowing slowly, cleansing people's souls. It is also like the autumn breeze, elegant and fragrant, soothing people's souls. At this time, it was noon in the restaurant and there were a lot of people, so it was a bit noisy. However, when this piano piece sounded, the restaurant suddenly became quiet. Everyone looked towards the piano and immediately stopped what they were doing, as if they had turned into sculptures. A waiter forgot to serve the dish and was stopped on the spot. A customer's cigar ash fell onto his pants without him noticing. The girl in the long skirt who played the piano just now opened her mouth wide in surprise, as if an egg could be stuffed in. At first, Xiao Yuqing thought that Li Mu was just joking. She didn't expect Li Mu to actually play the piano, and play it so well. What shocked Xiao Yuqing even more was that she, who had been exposed to piano since she was a child, actually didn't know what song Li Mu was playing. Could this be another original creation by Li Mu? Chapter 21 named Yuqing. The piano piece ends. Li Mu stood up and walked back to Xiao Yuqing silently. It was not until this moment that everyone reacted. Suddenly, as if time started to flow again, everyone came back to their dazed state and thunderous applause broke out. Li Mu had to stand up again and wave to the audience. It took a while for the applause to die down. At this time, an old man in a suit and tie walked up to Li Mu. "Hello, sir. I am the owner of this restaurant. My name is Liu Henian. The music you just played was amazing." Liu Henian loves classical music, has a beard, and looks like an old Shanghainese. No, Mr. Liu, thank you so much." Li Mu naturally didn't dare to be arrogant in front of the elders. "Thank you for playing such a beautiful piece of music. What is the name of this piece of music?" Liu Henian asked curiously. At the same time, this is what Xiao Yuqing wanted to ask. "This song is an improvisation I just made. I haven't thought of a name for it yet. But now I think it can be called Rainy Days." Li Mu suddenly had an idea and began to preach. Improvisation. Rain and clear. Xiao Yuqing and Liu Henian were both shocked. This piece of music is simply a classic, and it was actually an improvisation. This is really too astonishing. What do you mean? You just composed a classic piece casually? How embarrassing for those famous pianists. What shocked Xiao Yuqing was of course not only the improvisation, but also the fact that the piano piece was named Yuqing. "Isn't he this my name?" But the soothing music just now really felt like the sun after the rain. The name and the music complement each other. This gentleman is amazing. I also run a piano store. And I have some connections in classical music. If Mr. Li wants to publish a piano piece, I can help." Liu Henian just thought that Li Mu's words were just the arrogance of his youth. He didn't believe that such a classic piece of music could be improvised. However, every young person has a time when he or she is young and frivolous, and this song deserves such arrogance. "I have no plans to release any piano music at the moment. So I'm sorry to disappoint Mr. Liu." Li Mu did it casually and naturally didn't think about publishing it. This is such a pity. Such a great song. I wonder if you can give it up. If I can't hear it later, I'm afraid I'll be very sad. The music just now is so lingering that it would be a shame to only listen to it once. Well, if Mr. Liu likes it, I'll play it again when I have time, and then record it and send it to you. This way, you can listen to it often when you like." Li Mu saw that the old man really wanted to listen, so he didn't want to offend him. "That's great," Liu Henian said happily immediately. Just like that, the two sides exchanged contact information. Moreover, when Li Mu and Xiao Yuqing left the restaurant, not only were their orders waived, but Liu Henian also personally gave Li Mu a VIP card of the restaurant, which offered a 50% discount every time he came. After coming out of the restaurant, Xiao Yuqing was still confused. "Li Mu, you are so amazing." Xiao Yuqing went from being stunned to being shocked, and now she has become completely numb. This brother Li Mu is a musical genius. If he were to make his debut, with his handsome looks and extraordinary talent, he would be far superior to all the young and funny stars out there. It's just so. Li Mu was modest for a moment. After returning to the villa, Xiao Yuqing couldn't wait to pull Li Mu to her room. Since Xiao Yuqing has loved music since she was a child, her room was converted from 2 rooms, one as a music room and the other as a bedroom. In her music room, there is no shortage of musical instruments such as piano, guitar, guzheng, etc., and there is also a small recording room. Looking at these top-notch equipment, Li Mu could only sigh that rich people are so arrogant. All these devices probably cost several $1,000,000. Li Mu, let me try to sing the song you wrote for me. See if there's anything I need to pay attention to. Good. Soon, after practicing for about 30 minutes, Xiao Yuqing basically mastered the song written by Li Mu. Li Mu sighed secretly, she really is worthy of being the little queen of the music world. Just when Li Mu and Xiao Yuqing wanted to continue practicing the previous piano piece, Xiao Yuqing's phone rang. Yuqing, I'm already outside your house. It was the voice of a middle-aged woman. Okay, Sister Rong. I'll be right out. Xiao Yuqing hung up the phone, said something to Li Mu, and walked towards the gate of the villa. Soon she was greeted by a woman dressed beautifully. This woman is about 40 years old, but because of proper maintenance, she doesn't look old at all. In fact, because of her age, her figure has become more plump and round, just like a ripe peach. Hey! Who is this handsome guy? As soon as she entered the door, the woman started asking. Sister Rong, this is Li Mu, my brother. Xiao Yuqing hurriedly introduced him, and at the same time said to Li Mu, this is my agent Sister Rong. Hello, Sister Rong. Hello, handsome boy. The two people's hands touched lightly and then separated. Li Mu, are you interested in entering the entertainment industry? I'll protect you. Sister Rong's eyes lit up when she looked at the handsome Li Mu. Thank you, Sister Rong, I have no plans to enter the entertainment industry. Li Mu refused. He just wants to keep a low profile and lie low. He doesn't want to be in the spotlight. Of course, it doesn't matter if he is in the spotlight sometimes. That's a shame. You have such a handsome face. Sister Rong said regretfully. Yuqing. The sales of your album this time are too poor. Tianyu will not always allocate resources to you. Besides, you often have a bad temper. This time, the top management of Tianyu intends to put you on ice for a while. Sister Rong sat in Xiao Yuqing's room and preached to her seriously. Sister Rong. They are really going too far. I made so much money for them before. I didn't expect them to treat me like this now. Xiao Yuqing felt a little aggrieved. Yuqing. This society is realistic. You can't sing popular songs now, and you can't continue to make profits for the company. Naturally, they don't want to continue to allocate resources to you. Sister Rong's meaningful sermon. Who said there are no good songs? I have one now. But I want to terminate my contract with Tianyu now. Xiao Yuqing seemed to have made up her mind. Terminate the contract. Yuqing, you better think about it. Your contract with Tianyu will not expire for another 2 years. If you terminate the contract at this time, you may have to pay hundreds of millions in liquidated damages. Sister Rong said worriedly. I'm not afraid of this. I want to start my own entertainment company. Especially after meeting brother Li Mu. Li Mu. Sister Rong didn't understand what Xiao Yuqing meant. However, after showing the songs composed by Li Mu, Sister Rong was immediately stunned. Chapter 22 goes viral online. On the internet. A video of Li Mu playing the piano in a restaurant was uploaded by a passerby and quickly became popular. Wow. That sounds so good. Stunning. So handsome. Is there anyone more handsome? How come I've never heard of this song? My ears are almost pregnant. In a short while, there were thousands of comments under this video. That night, Yun Hao, a famous domestic piano master, was chatting online out of boredom. Suddenly someone in the group sent a video link. Yun Hao clicked on it out of curiosity, and when the video opened, he saw a handsome boy playing the piano. This piano piece is extremely beautiful. Yun Hao immediately posted the video link on Weibo, and added a comment, .z. Stunning. Since he has millions of followers on Weibo, the click rate of the video link immediately climbed. There are more and more messages. Hey! Is the girl with that boy Xiao Jiwei, the little queen of the pop world? It seems to be true. Wow! The female star has become a background. The video is a little shaky, but that's not necessarily the case. In the villa, Li Mu knew nothing about it and didn't even care. These days, Xiao Nishang is as busy as usual because the Nishang face cream will be on the market soon. After Xiao Yuqing finished filming the Nishang series of advertisements, she took a break. Li Mu, come and see how I sing. In recent days, Xiao Yuqing has been practicing the song that Li Mu gave her very diligently. The copyright of this song was also registered on the Hijacked music website. Since Li Mu did not name the song at first, she also gave it a resounding name, Above the Wind. Sister Yuqing, your singing is already perfect. Li Mu couldn't help but praise. Xiao Yuqing was born with a good voice and has no problem singing songs of all genres. Li Mu, how should I thank you for giving me such a beautiful song? Xiao Yuqing's eyes were as charming as silk. She was wearing a dress today, and she looked like a fairy descending from heaven. Sis, you've already given me a sports car, and I'm worried that one song is not enough. No, can you give me that piano piece by Yuqing as well? Xiao Yuqing smiled playfully. Sister, since that piano piece is named after you, it's naturally for you. That's great. Xiao Yuqing was cheering with joy. He hugged Li Mu with both hands, feeling the round and soft touch on his arms. Li Mu couldn't help but feel excited. Li Mu, can I upload this song Above the Wind to Penguin Music? Of course you can, sister. Since this song is given to you, it's yours to do with as you please. Okay. I love my brother the most. As she spoke, Xiao Yuqing actually gave Li Mu a kiss. Soon, Xiao Yuqing uploaded the recorded song Above the Wind to Penguin Music. At the same time, Xiao Yuqing also put the piano piece, Yuqing, recorded by Li Mu on Penguin Music. Capital City. The headquarters of Chenyu Entertainment Company. Damn it. Xiao Yuqing, that bitch, actually wants to break the contract. Jin Yuhai angrily smashed the coffee he had just brewed onto the ground. As the CEO of Chenyu, Jin Yuhai founded this entertainment company and made it the leader among the four major entertainment companies. Xiao Yuqing became famous at the beginning because of her super high looks and for singing the songs she wrote on the internet. At that time, Chenyu took advantage of the situation, signed Xiao Yuqing, and gave Xiao Yuqing many generous treatments. Relying on Chenyu's powerful capital and connections, Xiao Yuqing was gradually promoted to become a popular female star. However, unexpectedly, Xiao Yuqing has not released a good song in the past 2 years, and her popularity has been declining. Boss Jin, calm down. This girl has been going downhill in recent years. If she wants to terminate the contract, you can just blackmail her for the highest price. The female star He Fangfei next to her has a charming face, a slim figure, and is very hot. She is a second-tier star in Chenyu, who relies on selling herself out to get to the top, and is competing with Xiao Yuqing openly and secretly. Humph. She got it for free. Jin Yuhai has had sex with many female stars. However, what he could not accept the most was that Xiao Yuqing always refused his requests, which made him lose face. Boss Jin, why do you have to get so angry over this kind of woman? What good is this kind of woman? He Fangfei wrapped herself around Jin Yuhai like a water snake. If President Jin wants to get Xiao Yuqing, I have an idea. Oh? Do you have any ideas? Tell me about it. Jin Yuhai held He Fangfei in his arms, groping around and asking. He Fangfei's heart trembled as her body was fiddled with. She leaned over to Jin Yuhai's ear and whispered something. After hearing this, Jin Yuhai smiled, stretched out his hand and slapped He Fangfei on the buttocks. Boss Jin. Tears welled up in He Fangfei's eyes. She covered her buttocks with her hands, looking aggrieved. Soon, images inappropriate for children were heard from the room. Chapter 23 Hot Sales. For several days in a row, the video of Li Mu playing the piano in a Western restaurant became popular all over the internet. Some famous music experts even said that the piano piece in the video will become a classic, as both the playing technique and the style of the piece have captured the essence of classical music. But what's maddening is that no one knows the name of this handsome pianist yet. For a time, major online searches were even in the spotlight, and people were looking for this mysterious and handsome pianist. Who on earth is this? He can play such an amazing piano piece. Looking for a talented pianist, where are you? Li Mu naturally also saw these hot searches, but he didn't intend to get into the entertainment industry, so he took it easy. However, others were no longer calm. Li Mu, you really don't plan to get involved in the entertainment industry? No, I don't have that talent. I'm dizzy. Li Mu's answer left Xiao Nishang and Xiao Yuqing speechless. However, the more they look at this little brother, the cuter he becomes. However, some sharp-eyed netizens gradually discovered the trick. You guys should go check it out. There's a piano piece on Penguin Music that's exactly the same as the one played by the handsome guy in the video. I don't know who posted such a message in the forum and attached a link address. Driven by curiosity, many netizens clicked on the link. They found that it was indeed the interface of Penguin Music, and it was a piano piece that had just been uploaded a few days ago. The piece was called Rainy and Clear, and the performer was Lee Moo. Driven by curiosity, they downloaded it and listened to it. Sure enough, this piano piece was exactly the same as the piano piece in the video that went viral on the internet. Lee Moo. Who is Lee Moo? Lee Moo. Who is Lee Moo? Could it be the handsome guy in the video? Is this song called Rainy Days? What does Yuching mean? Many netizens are speculating. This led to more people flocking to Penguin Music to download the piano piece called Rainy and Clear. Because it was just uploaded, it has a 15-day free period, so the number of downloads exploded. At the same time, sharp-eyed netizens discovered that the account that released Yuching actually released another song called Above the Wind, and the lyrics and music were both written by Lee Moo, and the singer was Xiao Yuching. Out of curiosity, many netizens downloaded the song Above the Wind. After listening to this song, netizens were stunned. Oh my god! This sounds so beautiful. This song is going to become a classic. Isn't this voice the voice of the singing diva Xiao Jiwei? You forgot that in the background of the piano music video, there seemed to be the pop diva Xiao Jiwei. Could it be that Xiao Jiwei's real name is Xiao Yuching? Yuching, Xiao Yuching, could this be the piano piece that this handsome guy named Lee Moo gave to Xiao Yuching? Wow! This is so romantic. You know what, the handsome guy in the video and Xiao Jiwei are really a perfect match. How is it possible? The goddess has a boyfriend. With the massive downloading of Rainy Sunshine and Above the Wind by netizens, the two tracks began to gradually appear on the music charts. Especially the pop song Above the Wind, which climbed to the 20th place on the song chart in just a few days. According to the current growth trend, it should be able to break into the top 10 soon. Xiao Yuching was very happy about the song's chart success and massive downloads. This time, she did not do any publicity or public relations, nor did she make use of her previous fame. She just wanted to see if she could still become popular if she left Tianyu. However, reality has given a good explanation, which further strengthened her determination to leave Tianyu. It's been 2 years. She hasn't released any good songs. Now she's finally taking off again. Thank you, Lee Moo. Looking at the song's continuous improvement in ranking on the internet, Xiao Yuching happily told Lee Moo. You're welcome, sister. It's all because you sing so well. Lee Moo smiled calmly. At this moment, Sister Rong came to Xiao Yuching. Yuching. President Jin finally gave in. He agreed to terminate your contract with Tianyu. Really? That's great. But Mr. Jin has a condition. Conditions? What conditions? Xiao Yuching frowned slightly. Mr. Jin hopes to meet you in person before terminating the contract. Meet? I'm afraid this person has no good intentions, right? Xiao Yuching naturally knew that Jin Yuhai was a playboy and had slept with countless female stars. I don't know about that. Sister Rong was also worried. My sister's cosmetics launch will be over tomorrow. I'll go to Beijing to meet him. Although Xiao Yuching was not happy to meet Jin Yuhai, she had to go in order to terminate the contract. Okay. I'll go with you then. The next day, Taiku Shopping Mall in Shanghai. Today is Saturday. Female office worker Yu Jing went shopping with her girlfriends. Hey! Look, it's the advertisement endorsed by Xiao Jiwei. Wow! It's true. There's even a free trial. But, how come I've never heard of this brand? I don't know. The name Nishang. It sounds good. Let's go and take a look together. Yes. Yes. Women are naturally not immune to cosmetics. Soon, Yu Jing and her girlfriends arrived at the counter of Nishang Cosmetics. The Nishang brand has been erected high and its logo is designed in the shape of a flower. Welcome to Nishang Cosmetics. We are having a promotion today. Please feel free to try it out. The lady at the counter greeted Yu Jing and her bestie warmly. Wow! This smells so good. It feels so smooth. Let me try too. I want it too. Several girlfriends picked up the facial cream in front of them and carefully applied it on their faces in front of the mirror on the counter. How much does this cream cost? Yu Jing asked curiously. The original price is 688 yuan. But the store is having a promotion. Now it's only 388 yuan. It's a little expensive. The group of girlfriends were a little hesitant and planned to go to other stores to visit. But half an hour later, they came back. Because they found that the cream was unexpectedly effective, and the freckles on Yu Jing's face actually faded a little. They had originally been reluctant to buy the face cream, but this time they all bought a box. This kind of situation basically appeared in all major shopping malls where the products were distributed. In less than a day, tens of thousands of boxes were sold. Looking at the sales figures summarized today, Xiao Nishang was in a good mood. The busy days have finally paid off. However, Xiao Nishang knew that all this was thanks to her younger brother Li Mu. Thinking of Li Mu's handsome face, Xiao Nishang blushed unconsciously. Chapter 24 Pool Battle. Tonight, Xiao Nishang returned home early, which was rare. Now, after half a month of hard work, the Nishang Ancient Facial Cream is finally on the market, and its hot sales are simply jaw-dropping. Her hard work finally paid off. When I returned to the villa, I saw Li Mu lying on the sofa cushion in the backyard swimming pool. Xiao Nishang couldn't help but hold her forehead. How comfortable this boy is. Mom, I'm exhausted all day long. Xiao Nishang suddenly became playful. She quietly returned to her room and opened the closet. The clothes inside were dazzling and colorful. In the end, Xiao Nishang chose a red bikini swimsuit. Xiao Nishang took off her professional suit and black lingerie and put on this red bikini. After putting on her clothes, Xiao Nishang stood in front of the mirror, looking at her large white and tender skin, as well as her explosive figure. She felt a little shy and a little excited. In fact, Xiao Nishang bought this bikini a long time ago, but she rarely wore it in public because she was still a relatively traditional and conservative woman. It is not known whether it is because Xiao Nishang's figure is too explosive or the clothes are made to save too much fabric, but the T-shaped panties perfectly spread her buttocks apart, with the bottom of the panties stuck tightly in the buttocks crack. Looking from the back, her buttocks are almost completely exposed, which makes her already peach-shaped buttocks even more perfect. The small cup of the top was designed to be a triangle, tightly wrapping around the chest, but it only covered 1/3 of the area, while the other 2/3 were exposed, swollen and full and about to burst out. Coupled with Xiao Nishang's perfect face, she is simply a beauty on earth. No wonder even Xiao Nishang herself felt embarrassed when she saw it. Taking advantage of the moonlight and lights, Xiao Nishang boldly walked out and quietly came to the swimming pool in the backyard. At this time, Li Mu was still lying on the floating mat in the swimming pool, with his eyes closed and a look of enjoyment. Xiao Nishang quietly dived into the water and came to where Li Mu was. Then she suddenly stood up, scooped up a handful of water with both hands, and suddenly splashed it on Li Mu, who seemed to have fallen asleep with his eyes closed. Suddenly being hit by water, Li Mu shuddered. He instinctively stood up, but lost his balance on the floating mat and fell into the water, causing waves in the swimming pool. Seeing Li Mu looking somewhat embarrassed, Xiao Nishang clapped her hands and laughed so hard that she almost shook with laughter. Okay. Sister Nishang. You don't follow martial ethics. Li Mu, who had stood firmly in the water, finally reacted at this time. He also scooped up water with both hands and splashed it towards Xiao Nishang. Li Mu even ran over, picked up Xiao Nishang, and threw her into the water. Suddenly, the swimming pool turned into a water fight. Waves were everywhere. However, Xiao Nishang was no match for Li Mu. After just a few rounds, she was defeated. I won't do this anymore. I won't do this anymore. Spare my life. Xiao Nishang shouted. Har har. Sister Nishang, this is all your fault. Don't blame me. Li Mu looked at Xiao Nishang's explosive figure and swallowed. He knew that Xiao Nishang had a great figure before, but he didn't expect it to be so hot. Li Mu even had the urge to have a runny nose. As if she noticed Li Mu's gaze, Xiao Nishang quickly lowered her head, not daring to look at Li Mu. Xiao Yuqing, who heard the sound, also rushed over. You too. What are you doing? You're all grown up. Xiao Yuqing was speechless. Hey. Sister Yuqing, do you want to come down with us? Li Mu asked with a wicked smile. I don't want to. However, before Xiao Yuqing could finish her words, Li Mu had already pushed Xiao Yuqing into the water. Xiao Yuqing was wearing a dress today, and her skirt suddenly flew up. Xiao Yuqing was so embarrassed. Li Mu. I will never forgive you. I will fight you to the death. Xiao Yuqing scooped up a handful of water and splashed it at Li Mu, not caring at all that she might have exposed herself in a disgraceful manner. Suddenly, waves appeared in the swimming pool again. Li Mu knew he was in the wrong, so he let the two women do it. Finally, Li Mu was pushed into the water several times, which satisfied the two women. At night, Xiao Nishang's bedroom. Xiao Yuqing and Xiao Nishang lay side by side on the bed, and the two sisters whispered to each other. Sister, what do you think of Li Mu? Xiao Nishang seemed to be chatting casually. She has both good looks and talent. What's wrong, sis? Are you attracted to her? Xiao Yuqing teased at the right time. You're the one who's moved. I heard that he wrote a song for you, and there's also a piano piece named after you. Xiao Nishang quickly changed the subject, and at the same time felt a little jealous about the song Li Mu wrote for his sister. How did you know? You two are almost being rumored to be a couple on the internet. What? It's all spread by the entertainment tabloids. Sister, you can't believe it. Xiao Yuqing blushed. Oh. You little girl, are you trying to quibble? No. It doesn't matter if there is one or not. Do you still remember our previous agreement? What agreement? Xiao Yuqing blushed. If the 9 of us sisters were to get married, we would definitely marry the same person. Xiao Nishang's face was as red as fire. Sister, are you going to have sex? You are the one who is. The two extremely beautiful women fought on the bed again. Chapter 25. Arriving in the capital. Beijing Airport. As the planes slowly landed, Li Mu, Xiao Yuqing and Sister Rong walked out of the airport exit. Li Mu, thank you for coming here with me. Xiao Yuqing thanked with a smile. Originally, she planned to come to Beijing with Sister Rong and then finalize the termination of the contract with Jin Yuhai, but she didn't expect Xiao Nishang to strongly recommend that Li Mu come along. It's okay. I have nothing to do at home. I just want to get some fresh air. Li Mu smiled handsomely. Soon, the three of them got on a taxi and headed straight to Xiao Yuqing's house. Since Xiao Yuqing studied in Beijing during her college years and had already made her debut, she bought this house when she was a freshman. Of course, this house is not a villa, but a 3-bedroom apartment with 3 bedrooms, 2 living rooms and 1 bathroom. But even a 3-bedroom apartment is quite expensive in Beijing, and Xiao Yuqing bought it in full payment in the first year after her debut, which shows the money-making ability of celebrities. Walking into their house, Li Mu's eyes lit up. Although it was not as luxurious as a villa, it was exquisitely decorated, with a full pink girlish style. Li Mu, you live in this 2nd bedroom. If you need anything, there is a supermarket in the community. I will go downstairs to buy it later. Xiao Yuqing brought Li Mu to the 2nd bedroom and then preached a little shyly. This is the first time she has brought a boy here, and the boy will stay here for a few days. Thinking about living in the same room with her for the next few days, Xiao Yuqing naturally felt a little shy and awkward. Okay, Sister Yuqing. Thank you for your help. Li Mu put the backpack on the bed in the 2nd bedroom. But what I saw with my eyes was that there were several pieces of girlish underwear neatly stacked on the bed in the 2nd bedroom. There are pink, black, blue. Because she had just opened the door of the 2nd bedroom, Xiao Yuqing had not yet looked into the bedroom. Seeing that Li Mu's eyes were not right, Xiao Yuqing hurriedly looked towards the bedroom. Oh! I forgot to take it away. Xiao Yuqing's face turned red, as if it was on fire. She quickly took away the girl's underwear. She lowered her head and didn't dare to look at Li Mu. She ran into her room like a flash. This girl. Li Mu watched Xiao Yuqing run away shyly and giggled. Sister Rong was resting in the living room and didn't notice what happened. At this moment, her cell phone rang. Hey! President Jin. Sister Rong's voice sounded a little uneasy. After all, Jin Yuhai has only agreed to terminate the contract with Xiao Yuqing, but Jin Yuhai is not a good person, and it is still unknown how he will deal with her and Yuqing. Well. When Rong, bring Yuqing to see me tonight. I'll sign a termination agreement with her. Jin Yuhai's voice was somewhat cold and hard to understand. Boss Jin. You know that Yuqing is unwilling to do those dirty things. Boss Jin, please forgive Yuqing. Wen Rong said earnestly. Since Xiao Yuqing made her debut, Wang Rong has served as Xiao Yuqing's agent and assistant. Xiao Yuqing has always been very good to her, so they have a deep relationship with each other. Naturally, Wang Rong does not want to see Xiao Yuqing being toyed with. Har har. Wang Rong, what do you think I am? Am I a stud? Am I that horny? Jin Yuhai laughed loudly, as if Wang Rong's servility in front of him really pleased him. Of course, this is also the power that Jin Yuhai has accumulated over the years. He, Jin Yuhai, was originally a down-and-out overseas returnee, but his father-in-law is a big shot with tremendous power. After Jin Yuhai married his wife, he relied on the help of his wife's family to thrive in the entertainment industry, and both the black and white worlds gave him a lot of face. However, Jin Yuhai's wife is a typical domineering character. At home, she often insults Jin Yuhai, which makes Jin Yuhai's personality somewhat abnormal and distorted. Jin Yuhai was not loved at home and was insulted, so he vented his anger on other female stars. Boss Jin, you know my Yuqing, she is very stubborn. Although Wang Rong was a little afraid of Jin Yuhai, he also wanted to protect Xiao Yuqing in every possible way. I admire Yuqing too, but she's coming over tonight, so I won't make it difficult for her. Besides, there are many people from Tianyu coming here. If you don't believe me, you can ask her. Besides, I don't like forcing others to do things they don't like, right? Jin Yuhai preached with a smile on his face. Boss Jin, what's the situation tonight? Wang Rong felt relieved when he heard that there were many people present. Although Jin Yuhai played with women, those women were basically cheap and hoped to get benefits by getting close to Jin Yuhai. Jin Yuhai did not force them. You'll know when you come. After hanging up the phone, Jin Yuhai sent an address to Wang Rong shortly afterwards. Wang Rong looked at the address, which was at the Beijing Lido Hotel, but there was no specific room number. To go, or not to go? That is the question. Soon, in the living room, Wang Rong repeated Jin Yuhai's words. After listening to this, Xiao Yuqing frowned slightly, but finally decided, go. Okay. I'll go with you. Wang Rong was very loyal. Then you have to take me with you too. Since Sister Nishang asked me to come with you, I must protect your safety. Li Mu could see that Xiao Yuqing was going to have a big fight with Tianyu tonight. Time quickly came to the evening. After having dinner early, Xiao Yuqing, Wang Rong and Li Mu went to the Lido Hotel. Lido Hotel is located in the outer circle of Beijing, surrounded by mountains and rivers. It is a famous 5-star resort hotel with luxurious decoration, meticulous service and very high grade. When Xiao Yuqing and his group arrived at the front desk of the Lido Hotel, He Fangfei from Tianyu was already waiting for them at the front desk. Hey! Sister Yuqing, President Jin has been waiting for you for a long time. When He Fangfei said, wait, she deliberately emphasized and prolonged the tone. At the same time, she was wearing a light gold suspender skirt today, which sparkled under the hotel lights. Coupled with the exaggerated makeup on He Fangfei's oval face, her every frown and smile made her look charming and wild. Where is President Jin? Take us there. Xiao Yuqing's voice was cold, like ice falling on a jade plate. Being able to become the number one anchor of Tianyu naturally attracted the envy, jealousy and hatred of many people, and He Fangfei was naturally one of them. In order to get to the top, this woman had already climbed into Jin Yuhai's bed. However, because she has no singing talent and her acting skills are exaggerated, even with the help of Jin Yuhai, she has obtained many resources, but she has always been tepid. In the eyes of the audience, she is just a big-breasted, brainless vase character. Xiao Yuqing naturally looked down on her. Hearing Xiao Yuqing's indifferent and commanding voice, He Fangfei's face immediately drooped. However, thinking that President Jin would give Xiao Yuqing a good beating tonight, He Fangfei temporarily suppressed her anger. She twisted her hips and walked seductively in front, leading the way. As she walked, her curvy figure was fully displayed, and she seemed to be competing with Xiao Yuqing. Chapter 26, 100 Million Gamble. Soon, He Fangfei, Xiao Yuqing and the other two got on the elevator. He Fangfei whispered a few words to the elevator guy. Then, the elevator door closed and started moving, but instead of going upwards, the elevator went straight downwards. Isn't he their parking lot underground? Xiao Yuqing and Sister Rong frowned. Li Mu's eyes were full of curiosity. The elevator button panel clearly showed that there were only 2 underground floors, but the elevator seemed to be constantly moving downwards. Li Mu looked at the elevator guy and seemed to understand something. The guy should be holding a remote control device in his hand. He should be using the remote control to control the elevator downwards, or he should be contacting and communicating with the surveillance camera to let the surveillance camera control the elevator. All in all, this is a very clever design. The three of them suppressed their curiosity and did not ask any questions. Soon, the elevator stopped and the doors opened. What comes into view is a passage, not an underground garage. The entire passage is spacious and clean, and does not seem stuffy at all because it is underground. The marble floor is covered with red carpet, and the decoration style is still gorgeous. The passage was not long, and at the end was a heavy door with 4 security guards standing on both sides of the door. Come with me. Seeing that the 3 people were a little surprised, Fanfei smiled proudly and walked in front with her hips twisted. I arrived at the gate and confirmed my identity with the security guard, who then opened the gate. When you step inside, you'll see. The magnificent hall is filled with slot machines, paigao, and gambling tables. A group of gamblers were puffing away, some were excited because of winning money, some were frustrated because of losing money, some were unwilling to accept, and so on, with various expressions. Under the illumination of the dazzling crystal chandeliers, one can see all kinds of living beings. Seeing this, Li Mu, Xiao Yuqing and Sister Rome were all shocked. This is an underground casino. And it looks like a very large casino. Who would have thought that there is a hidden world underneath this hotel? In the hall, Jin Yuhai was sitting at the poker table in the middle, puffing on a cigar in his hand, with 2 women beside him. Boss Jin, Xiao Yuqing is here. Fanfei walked over and hugged Jin Yuhai's arm with both hands, looking flattering and coquettish. Oh, are they here? Jin Yuhai turned his head and looked at Xiao Yuqing. His eyes were ambiguous, but he smiled. Hey! Yuqing is here. Jin Yuhai threw the cards onto the table and started the round directly. Come on, open a VIP room for us. Jin Yuhai waved his hand and preached to a man who looked like a casino manager. Sir, please follow me. The casino manager then brought Jin Yuhai and his group to a VIP room. The room is very spacious. There is a bar at the entrance. The wine cabinet inside is filled with various famous wines. A cigar cabinet is also customized next to the bar. Of course, in addition to these, the most eye-catching thing is naturally the huge round gambling table in the middle of the room, with all kinds of gambling tools on it. There is also a beautiful croupier standing behind the round gambling table, who is responsible for dealing cards or shaking the dice, etc. Jin Yuhai sat in front of the gambling table and looked at the people and Xiao Yuqing who came in with him. These people are basically artists and agents under Chen Yu. Today's situation. Yuqing wants to terminate her contract with Chen Yu. Everyone knows that I have always valued friendship. Since Yuqing wants to leave, I won't force her, but I can't bear to let her go. I have always believed in luck, so I want to take a gamble with Yuqing. If I win, Yuqing will stay and continue to stay in Chen Yu. If I lose, I will sign a contract termination agreement with Yuqing on the spot. What do you think? Jin Yuhai seemed to be asking everyone, but his eyes were staring at Xiao Yuqing quietly. Obviously, in today's situation, he wants to kill the chicken to scare the monkeys. This. After hearing Jin Yuhai's words, Xiao Yuqing was very hesitant. She didn't want to make a decision based on luck. Boss Jin, I just want to part ways with Chen Yu in peace. Why does it have to be like this? Xiao Yuqing preached calmly. Har. So you don't want to give me face? Jin Yuhai's face turned cold. At this moment, a voice sounded in Li Mu's mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the god-level gambling skill. Do you want to claim it now? Li Mu was so happy in his heart, what he needed really came to him. Receive. Li Mu muttered silently. In an instant, Li Mu's mind was filled with gambling knowledge and skills. At the same time, his temperament also changed, and his eyes became deep and unfathomable. Boss Jin, how about I take Sister Yuqing's place and bet with you? Li Mu sat down at the gambling table, face to face with Jin Yuhai. Li Mu Yu. Xiao Yuqing was just about to dissuade Li Mu. But before Xiao Yuqing could finish her words, Li Mu patted Xiao Yuqing's hand and gave her a look that said, Don't worry, I'll take care of everything. You? Who are you? Jin Yuhai looked at the pretty boy in front of him and spoke with disdain. As soon as these words were spoken, the whole room burst into laughter. Fanfei was even more excited. Jin Yuhai had just noticed the handsome boy next to Xiao Yuqing. When he saw the intimate interaction between him and Xiao Yuqing, he was even more jealous. Har har. I'm Yuqing's brother. Can't I represent her? Facing the ridicule of the crowd, Li Mu smiled indifferently. Kid. Do you know what the minimum stake is to play in the VIP room? Jin Yuhai looked at Li Mu with disdain. Oh. How much is it? Li Mu became interested. Sir, in the VIP room, the minimum bet for guests is 500,000. The casino manager who had just brought them over started preaching at Jin Yuhai's signal. When everyone heard this, they were stunned. This price is so expensive. Although celebrities make more money, with a minimum stake of 500,000, I'm afraid they can't even gamble a few rounds. How about it, kid? Do you have so much money? You dare to sit at this gambling table? Jin Yuhai looked disdainful. This person is obviously a young man who knows nothing. Har har. Isn't it just money? Take it and check how much money is in this card. Li Mu took out a bank card and handed it to the casino manager. Cut. Jin Yuhai was very disdainful. Even if this kid had millions, he would lose everything in a short while. After a while, the casino manager came back. Sir, please keep your bank card. The casino manager handed it over almost respectfully with both hands. Then he turned to the crowd and said, "This gentleman has 120 million in his card. It's enough to qualify for a seat at the gambling table." R. Everyone exclaimed. They thought this pretty boy should have several million, but they didn't expect he actually had over 100 million. This pretty boy is young and rich. I wonder which rich family he is from. Even some female artists softened their gazes towards Li Mu. Can I bet with you now? Li Mu smiled slightly and looked at Jin Yuhai. Okay, kid, you're qualified. How about this, let's each take out 100 million chips and play Texas Hold'em together to see who wins more chips in the end. How do you think it is? Okay. Li Mu thought about it and agreed. Texas Hold'em, as the name suggests, is a card game. Each player is dealt 2 whole cards, and 5 community cards are dealt on the table in turn. Players use their 2 whole cards and the 5 community cards to freely combine, and the winner is determined by the size of the cards. Of course, you can raise the bet every time you look at the community cards. This is also the most commonly used gameplay in the God of Gamblers TV series. If you lose, all the chips on the table belong to me. And Xiao Yuqing will be at my disposal from now on, and she must not go against my will. If I tell her to go east, she can't go west, and if I tell her to go west, she can't go east. And she can't leave Chen Yu within 10 years, what do you think? Jin Yuhai gave a creepy smile, as if he had already grasped the wisdom. Upon hearing Jin Yuhai's conditions, the artists couldn't help but gasp. This Jin Yuhai is really cruel. If he loses, Xiao Yuqing will be his slave. Xiao Yuqing and Sister Rong both had worried looks on their faces. The stakes are too high. It's going to ruin my life. Sure. But what if you lose? Li Mu also asked with a smile. If I lose, I will be at your disposal and you can do whatever you want to me. What do you think? Seeing Xiao Yuqing and the others gradually joining the game, Jin Yuhai also laughed. Jin Yuhai never thought that he would lose, not to mention that he had invited an expert to compete today, so he would definitely not lose. He is determined to win Xiao Yuqing. Interesting. I agree. Li Mu nodded, his eyes deep, and it was difficult to tell what he was thinking. Soon, both sides deployed their troops and were ready to fight it out at the gambling table. Chapter 27. The gambling begins. In the VIP room. Everyone held their breath. Gentlemen, please check the cards. Jin Yuhai took a quick look and found no problems. Li Mu took the cards, spread them out evenly on the table, then picked up the first card and quickly moved it perpendicular to the spread out cards. Wherever it moved, the cards that were originally face down would quickly stand up, so that it could be seen which card it was. After moving it back and forth twice, the evenly spread out cards did not get deformed at all. Because Li Mu checked the cards so quickly, it was over before anyone could even be surprised. Xiao Muyu and Sister Rong were originally worried and thought that Li Mu was too rash, but after seeing the way Li Mu checked the cards, they couldn't help but be slightly surprised. Could it be that Li Mu is also a master at playing cards? Jin Yuhai's face twitched. It seems that this pretty boy is not simple. The others didn't have time to be surprised. Some of them just opened their mouths wide. Some women screamed, but felt it was too rash, so they quickly covered their mouths. In short, Li Mu was so good at checking the cards that it blinded everyone's eyes. After checking the cards, Li Mu signaled to the dealer that he did not find any problems with the cards. Then, the first game began. Li Mu discovered that the person sitting next to Jin Yuhai was no longer He Fangfei, but a woman wearing a tube top with her big breasts exposed. This woman seemed even more charming than He Fangfei. She had heavy makeup, her long eyelashes fluttered, and her eyes were seductive, making her look like the incarnation of a vixen. Soon, both sides received 2 cards. Jin Yuhai took a look at it, then put it on the table again, and then seemingly casually bet 500,000. 500,000 is the minimum chip on the gambling table in the VIP room. Li Mu also took a look at the 2 cards he was dealt, and then also bet 500,000. In the first round, before the public cards were revealed, both sides bet a total of 1 million. Then the beautiful dealer began to turn over the first 3 community cards, which were the J of clubs, the 7 of diamonds, and the 9 of spades. Jin Yuhai seemed to be prompted by the beautiful women next to him and chose to continue betting with 1 million. Li Mu chose to fold because his cards were very bad and he did not plan to take any risks in the first round. He just wanted to test Jin Yuhai's approach. Li Mu discovered that Jin Yuhai seemed to be particularly dependent on the big-breasted girl next to him. The big-breasted girl hugged Jin Yuhai's arm and pointed her fingers, obviously sending secret signals to instruct Jin Yuhai to play a card. Of course, these small movements can only be observed carefully, and a quick glance will not reveal anything. Har har. Boy. You don't have the guts to follow. You folded in the first round. When Jin Yuhai saw Li Mu fold his cards, he mocked him. My cards are bad, what can I do? Li Mu didn't care about Jin Yuhai's ridicule at all. Gambling is not about being angry. To win, you need to observe your opponent, analyze rationally, and cheat appropriately. Of course, Li Mu could have cheated from the beginning, but he didn't intend to do so. On the one hand, he didn't know the opponent's moves, and if he was caught drawing 1,000, he would lose the whole game, so Li Mu hoped to test and observe the opponent through a few games. On the other hand, since Jin Yuhai could set up the trap with full confidence, he must be well prepared, and Li Mu did not want to alert him. The second game begins. Both sides received 2 cards again. Li Mu received a 5 of hearts and a 6 of spades, which were considered small cards, but in order to continue testing, Li Mu chose to bet 500,000 this time. Jin Yuhai received a king of spades and a king of hearts, 2 old kings. This trump card is very big, so Jin Yuhai naturally chose to bet 500,000 and follow suit. Seeing that both parties placed bets and neither party folded, the beautiful dealer revealed the first 3 community cards. They are Ace of clubs, 9 of diamonds, 6 of hearts. Li Mu laughed and continued to raise the bet by 1 million. The cards in his hand only made up a pair of 6, which were very small cards, but in order to test the opponent, he chose to continue raising the bet. Seeing that Li Mu raised the bet by another 1 million, Jin Yuhai frowned slightly, took a puff of his cigar, glanced at Li Mu, and saw only a smile on Li Mu's face. He finally chose to follow suit and raised the bet by 1 million. Jin Yuhai had 2 kings in his hand, and he was confident that these cards were very big. If Li Mu wanted to win, he would have to have won. He just saw Li Mu quickly raise the bet after looking at the public cards, which made him doubt whether Li Mu's whole card was an A. However, he still planned to continue calling, and this was also the suggestion of the big wave girl next to him. Seeing both sides raise the bet, the beautiful dealer continues to turn over the 4th card of the community card, which is a jack of hearts. Li Mu looked at the 4th card turned over and quickly raised the bet by 5 million again. Based on Jin Yuhai's reaction just now, Li Mu judged that his whole card should not be an A, so he frowned slightly and hesitated. Li Mu planned to cheat and make the other party think that Li Mu's whole card was very big, even an A. So, Li Mu raised the bet from 2 million to 5 million, wanting to see the other party's reaction. Seeing Li Mu continue to increase the bet by 5 million, Jin Yuhai's eyelids twitched. He thought to himself, could it be that Li Mu got an A? If so, he would lose with the pair of KS in his hand. The big-breasted girl next to him also tapped Jin Yuhai's arm gently, as if she wanted Jin Yuhai to give up. What? Mr. Jin is so bold, but he wants to fold. Are you afraid to follow? Seeing Jin Yuhai frowning and thinking with a cigar in hand, Li Mu spoke provocatively. Humph. Why are you so afraid? Isn't it just 5 million? In excitement, Jin Yuhai did not fold and chose to continue following up. After all, in his opinion, 2 kings were already very big, and unless Li Mu had 2 aces, he would definitely win. Seeing that both sides raised their bets again, the beautiful dealer continued to turn over the 5th card. This card is an A. From then on, all 5 public cards on the table were turned over, namely Ace of Clubs, 9 of Diamonds, 6 of Hearts, J of Spades, and Ace of Hearts. There are 2 aces on the table. After seeing the 5th card being dealt, Li Mu deliberately raised the bet by 10 million. In fact, the 2 cards in Li Mu's hand are small cards, a 5 of Hearts and a 6 of Spades. When paired with the community cards, the best you can do is make 2 pairs of 6. Jin Yuhai's whole cards are a pair of KS. After matching with the community cards, he has 2 pairs of A's and 2 pairs of KS. If all the cards are opened, it is obvious that Jin Yuhai wins. But Li Mu did not fold, but quickly raised the bet. This action is to confuse the opponent, put pressure on him, make him think that his cards are big, and make him think that there is an ace in his whole card. Because through observing Jin Yuhai's micro-expressions and interacting with the big-breasted girl just now, Li Mu was sure that there was definitely no ace in Jin Yuhai's trump card. Seeing Li Mu raise the bet by 10 million, everyone was slightly surprised. Now, after several rounds of raising, there are 23 million accumulated on the table. Artists can make a lot of money. But it is all hard-earned money, and a large part of it is taken away by the company. This round will cost more than 200 million, which surprised them. Xiao Yuqing was sitting next to Li Mu, and it was obvious that Xiao Yuqing had just seen Li Mu's trump card. The card was small, but she didn't expect that Li Mu would dare to bet so much. This was too risky. Xiao Yuqing knew that it would be best for her not to show any facial expression so as not to be caught by the other party, but beads of sweat appeared on the palms of her hands under the gambling table. She was so worried that her heart almost jumped out of her throat. Jin Yuhai frowned when he saw Li Mu continue to increase the bet by 10 million. He was very hesitant. Why doesn't Mr. Jin dare to follow? Li Mu continued to provoke with a smile. Jin Yuhai thought about it, and then, at the suggestion of the big wave girl, chose to fold. You win, Jin Yuhai said viciously. Because Li Mu's several raises were too decisive. After several rounds of raises, he was about to form a fixed impression. Although he has a pair of kings, what if the opponent has a pair of aces? The bets got bigger and bigger as time went by, and his psychological pressure became greater and greater. Har har. Sorry, Mr. Jin. Seeing that Jin Yuhai had folded his cards, Li Mu knew that he had won, so he turned over his own cards. A 5 of Hearts and a 6 of Spades. Seeing Li Mu's trump card, the room suddenly fell silent, and you could hear a pin drop. Everyone was surprised. It turns out that Li Mu never had any big cards from the beginning to the end, he has been cheating all along. The more everyone underestimated Li Mu just now, the louder the slap in the face he got. You? Seeing that Li Mu's trump card was so small, Jin Yuhai pointed at Li Mu and was stunned for a moment. Damn it. I was fooled by this pretty boy. The big-breasted girl looked at Li Mu with a serious look in her eyes. Chapter 28 Cheating. The game continues. Jin Yuhai stared at Li Mu coldly as he spoke. With the suggestion from the big-breasted girl, he finally calmed down. Jin Yuhai lost 8.5 million in this round, but there were still many chips on the table. The third game begins. The cards Li Mu received were a Queen of Hearts and a 4 of Spades. Li Mu bet 500,000. Har har, kid. 500,000 is too little. Jin Yuhai added 5 million. Everyone was shocked. He started raising the bet before the public cards were even turned over. Could it be that Jin Yuhai was crazy about winning money? Okay. Keep raising the bet. Li Mu also continued to bet to 5 million. He wanted to see what Jin Yuhai was up to. After seeing the 2 people place their bets, the beautiful dealer turned over the first 3 public cards, which was a Queen of Diamonds. Li Mu can form double QS. At present, the cards look very good, but Li Mu chooses not to raise the bet and just looks at the cards. Jin Yuhai thought Li Mu's cards were not good, so he chose to continue to raise the bet by 5 million to put pressure on Li Mu. Li Mu chuckled and also bet 5 million, choosing to continue following the lead. The beautiful dealer turned over the 4th community card, which was an Ace of Diamonds. Li Mu continued to choose to look at the cards. However, Jin Yuhai directly chose to increase the bet by 10 million. Li Mu had no choice but to follow up with another 10 million. Seeing that both of them had raised their bets, the dealer continued to turn over the fifth card, which was a queen of spades. The public cards on the table now are 6 of clubs, 9 of spades, queen of hearts, ace of diamonds, and queen of spades. Li Mu cooperated with the public cards and had 3 queens, which was already a very big hand. Li Mu was not in a hurry to raise the bet, but slowly observed Jin Yuhai and the big-breasted girl. The big-breasted girl was leaning on Jin Yuhai at this time, and it seemed that Jin Yuhai was enjoying it very much. She tapped Jin Yuhai's arm with her finger, as if she wanted Jin Yuhai to increase his bet. Really? Jin Yuhai turned over the cards again and looked at them, then smiled with satisfaction. Suddenly, all the chips were pushed into the gambling pool, all in. Kid. If you have the guts, come with me. How about we decide the outcome of this game? Jin Yuhai laughed heartily, seeming to be full of heroic spirit. Har har. Since you said so. Then I'll follow. Li Mu also pushed all his chips into the gambling pool. Everyone exclaimed. It's only been 3 rounds and the truth will be revealed. But neither side was quick to reveal their cards. Har har. Interesting. Boy. How about we add something before we reveal our trump cards? Jin Yuhai preached slowly and calmly. Oh? What do you want to add? Li Mu asked. If you lose, I'll carve a flower on your face. Jin Yuhai picked up the cigar cutter next to him and preached with a sense of evil humor. Li Mu's appearance is too handsome, which makes Jin Yuhai extremely jealous. He is now full of desire to destroy. After hearing Jin Yuhai's words, everyone felt a chill down their spine. President Jin is indeed cruel. Okay. If you lose, I will castrate you. You will never be humane again in your life. Li Mu naturally showed no mercy when dealing with such a ruthless person. After hearing Li Mu's answer, everyone couldn't help but gasp. They were indeed all ruthless people, each one more ruthless than the other. Okay. I'll make you cry in a moment. You open your cards first. Jin Yuhai seemed impatient and urged. Everyone held their breath. Li Mu picked up the 2 whole cards in his hand and gently opened them. They were 2 queens, which together with the public cards could form 3 queens, which was obviously very big. Har har. So this is all you can do? Jin Yuhai turned over his 2 whole cards, and they were 2 aces. Together with the public cards, they can form 3 aces. Obviously from the cards, Jin Yuhai wins. When everyone saw the cards Jin Yuhai opened, they exclaimed. 3 queens is already a big deal, but I didn't expect to get 3 aces. This hand is amazing. Xiao Yuqing had a lost look on her face, sitting in the chair in a daze, as if she had lost her soul. Sister Rong was also dumbfounded. Li Mu actually lost. Kid. Come here. I'll smack you in the face. I'll teach you how to be a good man. Jin Yuhai picked up the cigar cutter, with a cruel look on his face, like a devil. Wait a moment. Li Mu remained calm. Why are you scared, kid? Tonight I will not only destroy your appearance, but also strip Xiao Yuqing of her clothes. Jin Yuhai laughed loudly, his expression was abnormal and twisted. When Xiao Yuqing heard this, her face turned even paler. I didn't lose. You lost. You were cheating. Li Mu still sat upright, looking calm. Cheating? What do you mean by cheating? You can't afford to lose, right? Jin Yuhai looked amused. Li Mu did not answer him, but looked at the dealer in the middle. Beauty, I want to check my cards. Yes, sir. After all, this beautiful dealer had received professional training. She quickly spread out the remaining cards on the gambling table. Among the remaining cards, there were 2 aces, 1 ace of hearts and 1 ace of spades. There is also an ace of diamonds on the public cards. However, Jin Yuhai's trump card was an ace of clubs and an ace of spades. There were 2 aces of spades. And there is a 3 of spades missing from all the cards. Everyone saw the trick and their eyes unconsciously turned to Jin Yuhai. Xiao Yuqing, who had originally looked distracted, now opened her beautiful eyes wide. Li Mu didn't lose. This can't be true. I'm not dreaming, am I? If there weren't so many people present, she would have wanted to slap herself a few times. It's hell one moment, heaven the next. Does life have to be so exciting? As proud as Jin Yuhai was just now, he was as frustrated now. Cold sweat broke out on his forehead and his body was shaking. At this time, the big-breasted girl wanted to get up and leave. However, Li Mu said coldly, "Do you want to escape now?" Sit down. Li Mu rushed forward, grabbed the arm of the busty girl, and pulled her bra down without mercy. Suddenly, a three of spades floated down from under the busty girl's bra. R. The big-breasted girl screamed and hurried to hold up her upper body that was exposed. Until this point, everyone still didn't understand. This busty lady cheated. She replaced the three of spades originally given to Jin Yuhai with the ace of spades, thus making three aces. The way this busty girl cheated was very clever. Although she acted very quickly, Li Mu still saw through the clues. However, the cards she replaced had not been moved in time and were hidden in her bra. However, Li Mu was more skilled after all, and now he is caught red-handed. At this time, Li Mu returned to his seat calmly. He stared at Jin Yuhai and the big-breasted girl with a playful look on his face. Tell me. What should we do now? Chapter 29, Destroy the Big Boobs Girl. The atmosphere in the room was unusually quiet. Jin Yuhai never thought that the expert he found in the casino was actually a fake, and Li Mu saw through it at a glance. This time the game has been ruined. In fact, it's not that the big wave girl's cheating skills are bad. Her card-changing speed is already very fast. It may be difficult to see her movements even if you slow down the speed in front of a video camera. But she met Li Mu, and that's her misfortune. Li Mu has acquired god-level gambling skills and gained nearly decades of gambling experience. What he has developed is not just a sharp eye, but also a comprehensive judgment of micro-expressions and demeanor. This big-breasted girl had been holding Jin Yuhai's arm since the beginning, and sometimes she even gave hints on Jin Yuhai's arm. Many suspicious points made Li Mu suspect that she was a cheater. Moreover, in the last round, the big-breasted girl touched the cards on the gambling table, and then they played all in so confidently, which made Li Mu suspect that they were cheating. And that's exactly how things developed. What do you think? Mr. Jin, what do you think we should do now? Li Mu asked calmly. Boy, you, don't be so arrogant. You win this round. All the chips on the table belong to you. Jin Yuhai had a dark face and preached in a weak tone. If you walk by the river often, you will get your feet wet. This time he has to admit defeat. Just the chips on the gambling table belong to me. Li Mu stared at Jin Yuhai and the big-breasted girl with amusement. What else do you want? Jin Yuhai's eyelids twitched when Li Mu looked at him. Just now. You cheated. According to the rules of the casino, cheaters will have their hands crippled. Li Mu's eyes are burning. This is none of my business. This woman was the one who cheated me, and I had no idea about the whole thing. Jin Yuhai argued while holding a cigar in his mouth. Hearing this, the big-breasted girl's face turned miserable. Today she was called over by Jin Yuhai, who said he was going to set up a trap for her. She thought she could easily win, but she never expected that the other party was actually a master. Oh? It has nothing to do with you, right? Call your casino manager over. Li Mu spoke to the beautiful female dealer in the middle of the gambling table in an unquestionable tone. Okay, sir. Our manager will be here soon, replied the beautiful dealer. In fact, just after Li Mu discovered that the big-breasted girl was cheating, the dealer had already pressed the alarm under the gambling table and notified the casino manager. Just as he finished speaking, the casino manager opened the door and came in, followed by a group of security guards. The casino manager came in, took a look at the big-breasted girl and Jin Yuhai, and then came to Li Mu. Hello, sir. I'm the manager here. You can tell me if you have any requests or dissatisfactions. The casino manager is a middle-aged man dressed in a suit and tie, and he speaks neither arrogantly nor humbly. In fact, after receiving the call from the dealer, he watched the surveillance video of the room and understood the whole thing. You are the manager, tell me, what should I do if someone cheats? Li Mu looked at the manager and asked calmly. According to the casino rules, both hands should be disabled. But, sir, in today's legal society, it's best not to provoke enemies. Peace is the most important thing. The casino manager spoke to Li Mu with a smile. What a great way to seek peace. What if I force the other person to take both of his hands? Li Mu's tone stagnated. Damn it. It is illegal to open a casino. You are still talking about the rule of law. This is a joke. Oh. Sir. You'd better not dirty your hands. The casino manager's words revealed a threat, as if he was protecting the big-breasted girl and Jin Yuhai. This made Li Mu frown. We asked you to come here to do the dirty work, yet you're still here complaining. Humph. Since you guys won't destroy her, then I'll do it. Li Mu stopped talking nonsense. Suddenly, he jumped up, picked up the cigar cutter next to him, and like a cheater, he rushed to the big-breasted girl in seconds, grabbed one of her arms, and stabbed it hard with the cigar cutter. Arr! The big-breasted girl screamed unexpectedly. One of her arm tendons was cut directly by the cigar cutter. Suddenly blood gushed out and the big-breasted girl collapsed on the ground, almost fainting. Everything happened so suddenly that everyone was shocked beyond words. Li Mu actually took action personally. This young man is so cruel. The women in the room screamed and covered their eyes. Today, I will be kind and only cripple one of your arms. Li Mu threw away the blood-stained cigar cutter, picked up a piece of white cloth from the side, and wiped the blood off his hands and body. At this moment, Jin Yuhai's look at him no longer had the contempt and looked down on him as before. Damn. This pretty boy is simply a devil. Even the casino manager's eyelids were twitching. I've seen cruel people, but I've never seen anyone as cruel as this. You said that it was the big-breasted girl who cheated, and I broke her arm. Now I've settled the score for her cheating. How do you think we should settle our score? Li Mu sat down again with a smile and stared at Jin Yuhai. Jin Yuhai felt a little scared when Li Mu looked at him. Boy. What do you want? Jin Yuhai no longer had the contempt he had for Li Mu. I want Sister Yuqing to terminate the contract with Chen Yu peacefully, and Chen Yu must not charge any liquidated damages. Li Mu said. This is impossible. You can terminate the contract, but the penalty must be paid. Jin Yuhai was in a bad mood. So you don't want to cooperate? Li Mu looked at Jin Yuhai coldly. So what? What can you do to me? Jin Yuhai was frightened by Li Mu's brutal attack just now, but he is not a pushover either. Just now, you said that I won and I could do whatever I wanted, right? You even said you wanted to scratch my face. Li Mu could see that this guy would not surrender completely unless he was taught a lesson. So what? I won't admit it, what can you do to me? Boy. Do you know whose territory this is? Jin Yuhai took out a cigar, took a puff, and spoke slowly. I just said that if I win, I will break your dick. Li Mu answered the question irrelevantly. Boy. You have some skills. But in my eyes, you are not qualified. This is my territory, it is not your turn to act wild. Jin Yuhai dropped the cigar in his hand and spoke condescendingly. He was so depressed today. He set up the trap himself, but in the end he fell into the pit he dug. Okay. I'm going to destroy you today. Li Mu doesn't care whose territory this is. He quickly came to Jin Yuhai and kicked Jin Yuhai's dick. This time, the casino's security and managers were alert in advance. So several security guards hurriedly resisted, but Li Mu's legs seemed to have a super buff, kicking away several security guards and attacking Jin Yuhai directly. Chapter 30 Li Mu's amazing talent. Everyone in the VIP room obviously underestimated Li Mu's fighting ability. Li Mu kicked several security guards to the ground in an instant. He is like a god of war. And just at this moment, the door of the VIP room was pushed open. A fat lady walked in, followed by a group of younger brothers. Seeing this group of people coming in, everyone in the room stopped what they were doing. I saw that the woman had a face full of fat and a bloated figure. Even the floral dress she was wearing was an oversized style. Sister Hua. The casino manager hurried over to the fat woman. The fat woman glanced around the room and finally fixed her eyes on Jin Yuhai. Wife, you're here. Seeing Sister Hua's gaze, Jin Yuhai trembled and immediately humbled himself. Seeing Jin Yuhai's look, the woman looked disgusted. You've become more capable now. I'll make you embarrassed. As she spoke, Sister Hua slapped Jin Yuhai twice. Sister Hua was very strong and Jin Yuhai was beaten into a pig's head in an instant. Wife, don't. Jin Yuhai screamed in agony. I let you come to the casino to gamble, I let you find someone to cheat, I let you play with women. Sister Hua seemed still unsatisfied and kicked Jin Yuhai twice again. For a moment, Jin Yuhai lost all face, and no longer had the high spirits he had just now. Li Mu looked at Jin Yuhai who had been beaten into a pig's head and was too lazy to do anything himself. Perhaps the fight was almost over. Sister Hua raised her head and looked at Li Mu. My dear, I apologize to you on behalf of old Jin. The fat woman bowed to Li Mu and apologized. Yeah. He really deserves a beating. When Li Mu heard that the visitor seemed to be Jin Yuhai's wife, he responded reluctantly. If it weren't for the appearance of Sister Hua, Jin Yuhai would have been in big trouble. Brother, give me some face. Xiao Yuqing can terminate her contract with Chen Yu. She doesn't need to pay any penalty, and all the money from the gambling will be yours. Do you think we can just let this go? The fat woman spoke softly. All right. But if he messes with me again in the future, I won't treat him well. Li Mu didn't want to do it completely. And if Xiao Yuqing can successfully terminate the contract, the matter will be considered complete. Okay. I will definitely discipline you strictly in the future. The fat woman didn't waste any words and waved to the man who looked like an assistant. The other party handed over a contract and asked Li Mu to take a look. Sister Yuqing, Sister Rong, come over and take a look. Li Mu didn't know much about contracts, so he handed it over to Xiao Yuqing and Sister Rong. Sister Rong and Xiao Yuqing were still confused at this time. Everything happened so fast and so chaotically. However, after checking the contract and finding no problems, both parties signed it. From then on, Xiao Yuqing completely terminated her contract with Chen Yu. Seeing that the work was done, Li Mu didn't want to stay any longer. Sister Hua smiled all the way as she escorted Li Mu and the other two out of their hotel. This Sister Hua seemed to be the boss here, but Li Mu didn't plan to delve into it any further. From this bet, Li Mu made a net profit of 100 million yuan, and also helped Xiao Yuqing successfully terminate her contract with Chen Yu, which was considered a perfect success. Return to Xiao Yuqing's house. It was already 2 o'clock in the morning. Xiao Yuqing didn't expect that the problem would be solved like this. She thought she would have to fight several lawsuits and get skinned before she could terminate her contract with Chen Yu. As a result, Li Mu easily solved the problem for himself tonight. Li Mu, thank you so much today. Xiao Yuqing opened her red lips. She likes this younger brother more and more. You're welcome, Sister Yuqing. Since I call you sister, this is what I should do. Li Mu smiled handsomely. Xiao Yuqing was very moved when she heard Li Mu's answer. With a smack, he stamped Li Mu's cheek and then ran back to his room shyly. But lying in bed, Xiao Yuqing couldn't fall asleep. What happened tonight was too thrilling. Li Mu's performance was too brilliant. Early the next morning, Xiao Yuqing smelled the fragrance coming from the kitchen before she got up. Wow! Li Mu, what did you make? It smells so good. Xiao Yuqing got up wearing pink pajamas, looking quite cute. Sandwich. Come and eat with us. Li Mu smiled handsomely. Okay. Okay. Xiao Yuqing was drooling as she looked at the sandwiches made by Li Mu. I have seen Li Mu's cooking skills before, so this time it will certainly not be bad. Xiao Yuqing hadn't taken a few bites when her cell phone rang. Hey, Sister Rong. Yuqing, I have just successfully resigned from Chen Yu. You have to support me from now on. Sister Rong thought she would encounter trouble when resigning today, but she didn't expect it to be so smooth. That's great. Sister Rong. Please help me register a company first. We can start from scratch. Okay. What do you think we should name our registered company? Sister Rong, I thought about it all night yesterday, let's call her Mu Yu. Xiao Yuqing glanced at Li Mu beside her embarrassedly. Mu Yu? Isn't this the combination of Li Mu and Xiao Yuqing's names? How could Sister Rong not understand what Xiao Yuqing meant? Great. This is a good name. Your brother is really amazing. Thinking of Li Mu's heroic appearance last night, Sister Rong couldn't help but sigh. After hanging up the phone, Xiao Yuqing looked at Li Mu, who was still eating his breakfast nonchalantly. Li Mu, can you write a few more songs for me? Xiao Yuqing came to Li Mu and acted cute and coquettishly. Above the Wind, written by Li Mu before, has topped the Penguin music charts today, and the piano piece called Rainy and Clear has become even more popular on the entire internet. This shows Li Mu's creative ability. Okay. I'm writing when I'm inspired. Li Mu said casually. No. Look, I want to set up a new entertainment company, and I want you to be a shareholder. Can you help me? Xiao Yuqing hugged Li Mu's arm and begged. I don't know how to run a business, but I can write songs. Li Mu looked at Xiao Yuqing begging in tears, and he finally couldn't resist. That's great. Xiao Yuqing cheered. Bring me a pen and paper. I seem to be inspired now. Okay. Xiao Yuqing hurried to get paper and pen. Li Mu thought about it and decided to write a few more songs at once to avoid trouble in the future. After Xiao Yuqing brought paper and pen, Li Mu began to write songs. Xiao Yuqing looked at the songs written by Li Mu and couldn't help but sigh. The songs written by Li Mu are so good, they are simply classics. However, after Li Mu finished writing a poem, he had no intention of stopping. Oh my god! Is Li Mu going to write 2 songs? This good song is already rare, and there is another one. However, the subsequent development of the incident completely shocked Xiao Yuqing beyond words. Li Mu wrote one poem after another. Now he has written 12 poems, but he has no intention of stopping. Oh my god! Do you think good songs are cheap in the market? This is too shocking. Xiao Yuqing calmed herself down and looked at them carefully. She felt that every song was extremely good. Xiao Yuqing is also considered a musical talent and has strong creative ability, but now when compared with Li Mu, she is immediately discouraged. What is a genius? This is the real genius. After writing more than 30 songs in a row, Li Mu finally stopped. Sister Yuqing, can you take a look at it? If not, I will write more. Li Mu said while rubbing his hands. Write more? You still have. Xiao Yuqing's beautiful eyes opened wide in shock, and she was petrified on the spot. Chapter 31, Airplane Shock. Xiao Yuqing didn't expect that Li Mu could write so many songs in one breath. Putting aside her shock, she quickly registered the copyrights of these songs one by one on the China Music website. Sister Yuqing, these songs should be enough for you to start a company, right? Looking at Xiao Yuqing's excited expression, Li Mu asked. That's enough. That's definitely enough. Brother, you're too good. Xiao Yuqing looked excited and kissed Li Mu again. With these 30 songs, Yuqing Entertainment Company will surely be able to stand firm and even rise rapidly. These days, Li Mu saw Xiao Yuqing and Sister Rong busy with their new company. He wandered around Beijing for a few days and then boarded a plane back to Shanghai. Li Mu booked a business class ticket. As soon as he entered the cabin, the stewardess who was greeting passengers at the plane door personally took the suitcase from Li Mu's hand and helped him put it carefully on the cabin rack. Li Mu sat down comfortably, picked up a magazine and started reading. After a while, the plane took off. Sir, do you want to drink anything? We have champagne, beer, liquor, coffee, juice. The young and beautiful stewardess asked very attentively. Not sure if it was an illusion, but Li Mu felt that this girl with a curvy figure seemed to be winking at him intentionally or unintentionally. Give me a glass of orange juice, please. Thank you. Looking at the gentle and lovely stewardess in front of him, Li Mu smiled. Okay. Please wait a moment, sir. The beautiful young lady smiled sweetly and twisted her body to enter the maintenance cabin. After a while, she brought over a glass of orange juice. Sir, your orange juice. When the beautiful stewardess handed it to Li Mu, she gently scratched the palm of Li Mu's hand with her little hand. Thanks. Li Mu took the orange juice and smiled. There was clearly a note stuffed into my palm just now. When the young lady saw Li Mu took the note and orange juice, she walked away shyly. Li Mu drank juice and opened the note given by the flight attendant. Written on it is the flight attendant's phone number and WeChat ID. What this young lady meant couldn't be more obvious. Li Mu chuckled and put the note in his pocket. Although this flight attendant is pretty, she is obviously several levels lower than her sister. At this time, the business class was not full, and the seat next to Li Mu was also empty. There were about 10 people in the business class. One of the young men and one of the middle-aged men caught Li Mu's attention. The two men sat side by side, seemingly discussing something. The middle-aged man had a short buzz cut and a long scar on his face. The scar was very ugly and ruined his originally handsome face. The young man sitting next to him had blonde hair and a flashy diamond earring on his left ear. When the flight was halfway through, the scarred man and the yellow-haired young man suddenly stood up and headed towards the front of the plane. Li Mu originally thought that the two of them were going to get some fresh air or smoke something. However, what Li Mu did not expect was that soon the entire plane began to shake violently. At first, everyone thought it was normal bumps. But a minute later, the plane was still shaking. Oh my god! The orange juice in Li Mu's hand almost fell to the ground. What the hell? What is even more terrifying is that the shaking of the plane not only did not stop, but became even more violent. Even the oxygen masks on the seats fell down one after another. Everyone on the plane began to cry and scream. What happened to the plane? Is it going to crash? I'm not married yet. Mom, I'm scared. Various screams and cries were mixed together in the cabin. But in less than 2 minutes, the plane returned to normal. At the same time, the broadcast on the plane sounded, "Dear passengers, we have now taken over the plane. Please hand over your belongings to the flight attendants. If you don't cooperate, don't blame us for being rude." As soon as the broadcast ended, a yellow-haired young man came out from the maintenance compartment at the nose of the plane, holding a man who looked like a pilot, and he actually had a pistol in his hand. In front of everyone, he pulled the trigger on his pistol, and with a bang, the bullet went through the pilot's stomach. The pilot fell to the ground and fainted. At the same time, the pilot was shot in the stomach and bleeding profusely. Did you hear that? Hand all your belongings to the stewardess. The yellow-haired young man preached in an extremely arrogant manner. Everyone in the cabin was trembling with fear at this scene. Oh my God! Even Li Mu was amazed. He also didn't expect that he would encounter a hijacker while on a plane. It would be such a shame if he didn't buy a lottery ticket with such luck. It seems that the scarred man and the yellow-haired man are in control of the plane. Soon, a stewardess came out from the maintenance cabin at the nose of the plane, trembling with fear, pushing a food cart. And the flight attendant pushing the food delivery cart was the young lady who had just given Li Mu the note. At this moment, her long black legs seemed to be trembling a little, and her face was extremely pale. Behind the stewardess was a yellow-haired young man holding a pistol. The yellow-haired young man pushed the stewardess forward, threatening her with a gun. "Hurry up, hand over your valuables and put them on the food delivery cart, or I'll be rude to you." Everyone in the cabin was in panic, and in order to save their lives, they began to take out their wallets and gold and silver jewelry. After all, money is external to one's body, and without life, everything is empty. But when he came to Li Mu took advantage of the yellow-haired man's inattention, jumped up quickly, and snatched the gun from the yellow-haired man's hand. Depend on. The yellow-haired man was furious. He seemed not to have expected someone to suddenly attack him. As soon as he saw Li Mu holding the pistol, he hurried over and tried to snatch the pistol back. However, his speed was obviously slower than Li Mu's. Li Mu punched the yellow-haired man in the face twice. Immediately, stars appeared in his eyes and blood came out of his nose. He was injured instantly. Damn it! The yellow-haired man cursed and wanted to attack, but Li Mu had already pointed the gun at him steadily. "Get down!" Li Mu ordered. Under Li Mu's command, everyone stepped forward and tied up Wang Mao. Li Mu knew that this was not the time to celebrate because the scarred man should be in the cockpit, controlling the plane. Therefore, Li Mu walked towards the cockpit again. Sure enough, after knocking on the cockpit door, the scarred man raised his gun and shot at Li Mu outside the door. Li Mu dodged and barely avoided it. The captain who was flying the plane tried to attack the scarred man while he was shooting, but the scarred man instinctively shot the captain in the chest, and the captain fell to the ground. Taking advantage of the moment when the two men were arguing, Li Mu entered the cockpit and quickly threw a few punches, finally knocking the scarred man down and making him lose his fighting ability. However, although the criminals were subdued, the plane was sinking step by step. What was even more devastating was that the captain had stopped breathing and the co-pilot had completely fainted. Li Mu is about to explode. And at this moment, ding! Congratulations to their host for obtaining the aircraft stance skill.